Well, I'm going to stop saying stuff on the internet because I was celebrating the fact that we were getting a safety. I won't even say his name anymore. And our left guard back, which was a foundation I thought of the next incoming year. It looks like I may have spoken a little too soon. There's also been some rumors about next year's starting quarterback being courted by an ACC power, if there is such a thing in ACC anymore. We're gonna go through those ideas. And again, this is setting a record for phone shows, call-in shows that we've had in 1 week. I mean, it literally, I don't know, it's our third or fourth one in 1 week. But I promise you guys that, yes, we're going to have our Wednesday show, but we will always go live when news breaks. And I got to tell you what, today we got some news about middle of the day that Emmanuel Pregnon, USC's phenomenal, I mean, definitely most consistent offensive lineman this year, is now entering the transfer portal. So we could definitely talk about that. Yesterday, the rumors were swirling around about Jayden Maiava looking at Miami. We could talk about that. But let's face it. Let's talk about anything you guys want. It's your show. Give us a call, 888-997-4539, 888-99-RILEY. Give us a call. Let us know what you think about what's going on as far as the transfer portal. We can even stretch this out into, now we know that things are shaping up. There's some hot targets. We have a quarterback, who got an offer that went out recently. We have running backs that are eminently possibly going to be joining the team. So we know there's some targets we're going for, but we really do want to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think we need? What do you think about Emmanuel Pregnon hitting the transfer portal? There's a lot of whys. We can do some speculation on that as well. I've got a couple ideas in my head, but I do want to hear from you guys as well. But give us a call, 888-99-RILEY. Caller, hang on 1 second. For the second show in a row, Preston's working 16 hours today. The young man is out there working his tail off, so he's not going to make the show. But I have asked Paulie Walnuts to join us. Paulie's here. Paulie, your thoughts initially on Emmanuel Pregnon?
Wow, it's a complete shocker to me. When I heard it, I couldn't even bring myself to understand why he would want to leave such a great situation. But it's like I said, I'm anxious to hear what people think about it and what's going on with that. I don't know if it's a money situation. I know it's not. I don't know if it's a financial thing or not. I really don't. And I'm really anxious to hear what people have to say about it.
It doesn't help losing your position coach as well. I mean, the fact that Hanson's moving in, and I thought there'd be kind of some continuity with Hanson moving in, taking over Henson. You guys, if you didn't know this, Coach Henson has taken on the offensive coordinator position over at Purdue. So losing that may factor in. He did test the waters for the NFL, probably did not get the grade he wanted. So this is a big money year for him. Maybe he's looking, maybe he might join. Hey, listen, maybe he's going over to Purdue. Maybe Purdue put together something for him, and Coach Henson's gonna start his Purdue days there. I don't know. You guys, everything's on the table. We want to hear from you guys. It's a big shocker, though. That's the one thing. I thought he was the piece we were going to build this offensive line around. Seemed like we had the left side of this line totally figured out. Now that just went up in the air as always. Will ND, thank you so much. Congratulations to you guys. Big win. Pay Pregnon what he wants. He's a game changer. He could still come back. Let's do one good point. Young Will's bringing out the point that, just because you entered a portal doesn't mean you can't come back in. Let's hope that this might be one of those situations where like we've had Bear Alexander, flirting last year. We know that, there was some speculation that Jayden Maiava also might have been looking at some of his options. More of that later on. But what do you think? We want to get ready to start with the calls right now? Paul, you ready to start calls?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, great. All right.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear what people have to say about Pregnon.
Yeah, hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim. It's Russ from San Diego.
Hey, Russ. How you doing? Long time no hear.
Yeah, man. I'm bummed. I missed the last couple of shows where I could have called in and been positive. I feel like I always call in.
Russ, is that what it was? You're waiting for this moment? All right.
Negative person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is very disappointing. I think, I think as SC fans, we're kind of looking at the fact that we should have, probably put away Penn State. That should have been more of a comfortable win than a close loss. We're looking at the fact that Notre Dame was a better team, but we had an opportunity to kind of claw away a victory there. And I think despite, the portal started off bad for us and then it became great for us. And I think we were all kind of like, dude, we can make some noise next year. And, I think Gabe's video is right completely. I mean, losing Pregnon, there is no sugarcoating it. This is huge. This is a body blow. I mean, this is you're winning the first 6-7 rounds of a 12-round fight, and then you get knocked down 2 times, and that's a 10-7 round, and you're just like you're on the back foot from there,
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go full on. I'm gonna go full on Ryan Abraham over on 247. It's like you have this beautiful meal you set up, and you have your roast right as your meal. And you have all the nice little side dishes that we're looking at. I'm not saying that some of our great young guys coming up, but really we were building the meal around one piece, that roast, right? Well, now that, which I would equate to our offensive line, we have a great offensive line, but we're really building that around just the consistency and still the upside of an Emmanuel Pregnon. You can still make that next level jump. And all of a sudden that just maybe evaporating overnight. So that is something that's very concerning. Very concerning if you're a USC fan.
Yeah, it sucks, and it puts a real damper on our prospects for next season. But I just college football needs to be real careful because it's really veering into and I've talked about this before, but we watch college football because it's not a professional league, because it's different than the NFL. If they want to go down this road of being a totally sort of almost minor league professional league for the NFL, which is what we're on the way to doing, very much so, in a less transparent and more annoying way, this league is going to go from us liking them because they're different. If they are just the minor leagues, all they are is, and I'm sorry, this is going to sound harsh, but they're an inferior product.
Oh, that's not harsh. That's a reality.
League, this is an inferior product to the NFL at that point. Give it 5 years. They don't think that it can happen. Look at the NBA's ratings.
Yeah, no, Russ, I got you.
Their viewership is down 50%.
Yeah, and Russ, listen, I get you. We made this comment a couple of times. Yeah, absolutely, great call. Listen, we've made this kind of analogy before. I've done it a number of times. What you're looking at is nobody watches minor league baseball. Why? Well, the pitching's inferior, the hitting's inferior, and the fielding's inferior. Why? Because it's the minor leagues. Now, there's some cool, quirky things they might do, in between innings that gets some people out to the, to the game if they're somewhere in Grand Rapids, Michigan, or something, where you don't have a major league baseball team. But let's face it, who watches minor league baseball on TV? There's a reason why. And the closer you get, you got rid of regionality in college football. That's gone. You got rid of basically. When was the last time anyone heard of a guy being academic ineligible? This is no longer about student athletes. Let's just forget about that whole joke altogether. Yeah. Right? They've I almost said, dude, they almost got me cussing. They messed with the clock rules. We're seeing that the games are getting shorter, but you know what? They're not getting shorter. The playing's getting shorter. There's more commercials, and the games are still about the same length. So what I'm saying is you're changing all the great things about college football: regionality, rivalries, the conferences. The bowl games are now completely gone. Really, unless you're diehard, they're pretty gone. And you replace it with a minor league system. And if you want to see the difference between the pro product and the college, just look at 2 positions, right? Look at your defensive end in the pros and then the average college team, and watch the corners and the coverage. Watch the coverage skills in the secondary, but especially watch an NFL corner cover a receiver, and watch the average typical college cornerback, and you'll see a huge difference, because the amount of guys in the NFL, you get the cream of the crop, and then you have hundreds of cornerbacks, and there's going to be a huge drop off. It is not the same game. And if you try to put that game up and make it the same game, make the rules the same, remove all the things that made college football great for decades, you're going to lose a lot of fans.
Oh, definitely.
You said it perfectly. And I'll just, to add to what you just said, if college football, if the NCAA thinks that it's too big to fail, it is not. Go ask the Star Wars franchise. Go ask the NBA right now. I mean, we could go on and on about things that dominated in popularity, in 5 to 10 years later. Where is it? Just off a cliff, you know?
Yep.
And it's just kind of like, this is where we're headed. And nobody wants this.
Yep.
Nobody wants this. And I want players to get a piece of the pie, but it can't be this, like, at least in the NFL, like, if you lose, like, there's a very transparent salary cap. You know how much every player is getting paid. And if your favorite player goes to another team, you can see, like, oh, well, they offered them a ton of money. It sucks, but I understand. We have no clue.
There's compensation. There's trades. There's all kinds of things, Russ.
Like, whose fault is it? Is it Lincoln Riley's fault? Do we need a GM? Is the kid selfish? What the hell's going on here? Nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Oh, no, you nailed it.
They're here for 2 years, and it's just like this lack of transparency is just like, it's like the worst part of it's like a pro league, but 100 times worse because the fans are just totally in the dark about everything.
Yeah, good job, Russ. You nailed it. It's going to be trying to be NFL, and it's not. Yeah. And the problem, the worst thing is there's free agency, but there's not even a signing period. It's basically now you can trade and transfer whenever you want, and there's it's just open season. That has got to change. Great call, Russ. As always, appreciate you being here. Way to start it off. Fight on, man.
Way to go, Russ. Fight on.
Boys. Fight on, guys.
Fight on, Russ.
Yeah, great call. I mean, there's no denying that's a great call. I mean, we've been saying that, and I'm not the only one to talk about, but we've been talking about for years here. And the fact that this is not a sustainable product. It's got to have to change, and if it doesn't change, it's college football is going to miss out. And you never thought you could squeeze more NFL fans in the United States as you could. The only way to do that is to get rid of college football. And it seems like we're on the way to doing that. And so the NFL will be the main person that will absolutely benefit from this. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how are you, bud? It's the Penn State guy from Pennsylvania.
Good. How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I was going to ask you this from, like, losing your offensive line and sure the portal and all those corporate issues. Does USC focus on, like, their NIL on retention much? You know, like, Penn State doesn't have decent NIL, but it's not like top schools. So they, like, prioritize on bringing their best job of it. And I just wondered if you think that's maybe an issue why a school the portal.
Oh, I think I got you. Paul, you want to hit that really quick and I can follow up on that? Yeah, good question.
I lost the last part of it. I couldn't hear it.
So what he's saying is that Penn State doesn't have the similar situation USC has been in recent years. We've heard that USC's got a lot more money now, but in the past, they've been missing out. We missed 3 calls. You guys, nobody's waited more than 5 minutes. There's a lot of people itchy fingers that hang up on the. So call back because there's one person in the queue. But basically, Paulie, what they were saying was what he's saying is that. They really focus on the retention of their players. And so I know USC does do that. I mean, believe me, you don't keep the players that we have on our roster unless you're doing that. I think the issue is Russ hit on it with a general manager. I think that's the big issue. And I do think that they prioritize what they're doing. Lincoln Riley kind of said it. They go through the roster. And then the guys that they just pay people what they feel they're worth. If they may get more money in a different market with someone else. They may make more money if they go to SMU, right? They might get $1 million to be a running back or $500,000 to be a running back. Sorry, not $1 million. You get $500,000 to be a running back over at SMU, but you're not going to get that here at USC. Why? Because we're going to pull in their guy. So it is just about roster development. Paulie, anything to add to that?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, Lincoln made it very clear when he was going through that whole process about how they, according, they have, I don't know, some kind of pay scale that they follow, or I don't know what it was, but I'm totally okay with that. There's some players there where, hey, unfortunately, this is I'm sorry, but this is the bracket that you fall in, and this is what we're going to pay you. But
this is what we're at, though, right?
Yeah, this is where we're at. This is where we're at in sports.
There's no guardrails.
It sucks. It sucks. And I, like the first caller was saying, something's got to be done about it. But I just don't know how this fits with all the state, like all the different state laws, the laws in general, courts that basically just make it, they just kind of handcuff NCAA and just, could you?
Hey, Penn State guy, I love you, man. Appreciate you always supporting our channel and our show, but you're something with your phone call. It's just really choking up pretty bad. If you want to call back in a little bit later, that's fine. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. But I'm sorry, your call's breaking up really hard. So appreciate you calling in and continue support, and hope to hear from you again soon. Oh, and we just lost our 6th call. I gotta tell you what, Paulie. Back in the day, I mean, I used to remember we'd get like, some people on 6, 7 people in the queue, and some people are crazy. They wait like 25, 30 minutes. So talk too long.
There's times I've waited up to 40 minutes. Am I bad luck?
No one's waited more than 5. The average wait time is 5 minutes and 7 seconds. I'm looking at it, but we've lost 7 callers tonight, which is pretty crazy. But hey, man, that's the life. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
661.
Juan, how you doing? What's on your mind, man?
Right now.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
We're calling from 661.
Okay. And what's on your mind?
We're looking to talk to Paulie D. Paulie.
Okay, there's Paulie. He wants to hear from you. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Juan? Talk to us, man. What can we do to help you out with some Trojan info, man? Talk to us.
You're probably gonna need to turn down your. If you turn down your TV, that you might because you're a bit off. I think you're listening to the audio from the TV and not from the phone call. So you gotta make sure you're listening to the phone call.
Yeah, Paulie. We just want to hear from Paulie. We just want to hear from Paulie right now.
Okay. Anything particular you want to hear from Paulie?
Sports for this week. The sports has been a little bit rough. The sports been a lot rough this week. But we really want to hear from Paulie right now.
All right, let's listen to Paulie talk. Thank you, man. Appreciate the call. Awesome job, dude.
You know what, Juan? I really appreciate you calling in, man. Whatever topic you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. But let me tell you something on Conquest Call-In, bro. You know what? You call in anything Trojan related, we can help you out, Juan. Okay, so we're here for you, brother. You
got fans, Paulie. I don't know if they know what they want to talk about, but they do. They love you. They love some Paulie. So we could do that.
Yeah,
Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Tim? It's Will.
Will, congratulations on your big win yesterday.
Thank you, Tim. But Tim, so do you think it's a culture problem, by Riley? Why do you think? Or do you think it's just they're skipping the players? I just don't understand why. I mean, I understand why some of them aren't leaving because it's not a good fit. But it's USC is one of the biggest blue blood programs. I just don't understand it. Is it are they skipping the players or?
I don't think any of that now.
What's going on?
So kind of what I said before, and it kind of goes into the call we talked about with the where you have the NFL combination. You have this NFL setup, but you don't have any rules for it. In the NFL, you could leave your team, right? But you're under contract. These guys are under contracts, but they can break. It's like a 1-year contract. Can you imagine? How do you think the NFL would run if there were 1-year contracts in the NFL? Yeah. There's no more 7-year. There's no these huge contracts. It's just year to year. You don't know who your starting quarterback is going to be. How long will the NFL keep their fans? Not very long, right? Not for long. NFL, not for long, right? It's not going to happen. And I don't think it's a USC reason. It's not a culture. It's not a culture issue. It's not a USC issue. This is happening throughout college football. We're focusing on our left guard right now. We're talking about possibly. And by the way, guys, it's smoking rumors about Maiava. I'm hoping they can still figure it out. And as you said, who knows? Maybe even Pregnon comes out of the portal. There are guys that go into the portal all the time and come back out. It's not like USC. Alabama's losing guys. Washington loses guys. Ohio State's going to lose guys. It's not that USC is the only one. But what's hurting about USC is we're losing a bunch of guys who we expected to start. I mean, it was one thing we lose Deuce and Branch. We're like, okay, well, we still have receivers. We're more than happy with the two we kept. We probably kept the better of the four, right? The two. That works. But, we lost Quentin Joyner. That hurt big time. He was our running back one without a doubt. Starting day, right? He left. I think that's a different thing. No doubt that we had a left tackle, Emmanuel Pregnon. He's our starting left guard. I mean, without a doubt. And he's leaving. I think all these guys were given good, NIL deals, like probably solid, very competitive NIL deals. Well, but the problem is if you have a program out there that has a little extra money and is willing to overpay for a position because they need that position, that's where I think USC is falling behind. I am going to tell you I'm concerned because I do think the names of the schools I just named, schools like, Oregon for sure, Ohio State, Michigan, if you saw it when they had their title run, they paid the extra money to keep those guys at home. Yeah. That Michigan team put a lot of money in retaining that roster to make that title run. Ohio State did the same exact thing, right? Look at that. Yeah, Ohio State's defense. A lot of those guys could have gone pro, but they stayed. And I think a big part of that is because that was made the offer that was given to them for NIL was solid. So, I mean, Paul, I don't know your thoughts on that, but so it's not an SC problem, but it does seem like a weird SC problem that we're losing potential starters that can get us to the playoffs. That's what's concerning.
Tim and Will.
It's just I usually don't see I'm not trying to attack USC, but a lot of programs lose guys that aren't starters, but I feel like you guys in particular are losing more guys that are starters than other programs.
Yeah, Paulie, what do you think, Paulie?
Yeah, that's the misconception that I hear from a lot of people, a lot of fans, is for some reason there's this spotlight on SC when other teams like Florida State, for instance, and other programs are losing multiple players.
Starters?
Yeah, just starters, random players, but when it comes to guys like Pregnon, for instance, I look at it and he came to USC for a reason. He came from Wyoming to be developed. And that's the one thing about it that, Pregnon came here specifically. I heard it from his mouth. He came here to be developed and he wanted to become a better player. And we've done that. But now, like I said, with everything that's been thrown into the mix, I don't know where a player's head's at even nowadays when it comes to this whole situation. This is completely new to all of us. And I can't even imagine what the coaches are going through trying to figure this out. I mean, it's just literally curveballs thrown at them every single day. Every day.
Could have said it better. Will, great call as well.
Let's go, Will. Right on.
Appreciate you calling, Will. Again, you guys, I'll be pulling for you guys. I don't know how I feel about a championship. I mean, I like your last championship being in 1988, but it's kind of hard to root against you, Will. Appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully you guys get the money that you need.
I hope so. I think it's there. Let's just see if I want to get that GM so we get rid of these problems and we can move on. Thank you, Will. Great call.
Take care, Will.
Yeah. Average wait time 3:29. We've lost 8 callers. This is getting. I don't know. I'm gonna check my phone line. Maybe my phone line's dropping people. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim. Hey, Paulie. This is Sam from Leavenworth.
I'm sorry. Who from Leavenworth?
Sam.
Thank you, Sam. What's on your mind tonight?
I think Pregnon, I don't know why he went to the portal. I mean, first he came in or said he was coming back and then he went to the portal. I don't get that whole situation there.
Well, maybe he said he's not going to the NFL and he said he's coming back for the bowl game, but I don't think he made any promises about being on the roster next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he? Because I think it was reported that I think his coach said that he's coming. He's going to be at the. I think it was actually Hansen said he's going to be at the bowl game, and then he's not going to the NFL. But I don't think either one ever said that he would be a Trojan next year. But I get what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Kamari Ramsey said he was coming back, right? Kamari said he was coming
I
back.
hope so.
I did. Do we have a quote from Kamari saying that? I mean, we've heard that he played in the bowl game and that his coaches have said he's coming back. I don't know if I've heard Kamari. Did he come out in one of the interviews and say that?
I think he did say that he was coming back.
That's perfect. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
But I'm certain we didn't hear that from Pregnon. Pregnon did not come out and say, I'll be back next year.
And Maiava, I don't know why he would leave USC when he has like one of the best offensive minds in college football. And Lincoln Riley.
Great developer.
I mean,
proven developer of talent. But now remember, is he leaving or maybe I'm not privy to any of the NIL conversations.
The rumors?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rumors are all gonna be out there, but I'm saying I have no idea I don't know what he made last year. I don't know what they offered him. I don't know what they've reoffered him. I don't know what the negotiations are. But again, I hope these guys are getting paid what they deserve, because if it is not getting what he wants, this is, I mean, look, don't get mad at the players.
It's all about money right now.
Yeah, but don't get mad at the players. This isn't their problem. This is the NCAA football problem. Yes. If there's a market out there for your son or your brother or you to make substantially more money using your God-given gifts, when tomorrow is not promised to anybody, you know, a school, if you
changed so much,
if you want to keep your guys, pay them. Yeah. If not, they are going to go somewhere else. They need to change the rules. These rules are stupid. Again, like I said at the beginning, the NFL does not have a situation where it's a year-to-year contract. There's a reason for that, because you need to build a team. How do you build a team not knowing who your left guard is going to be next year, who your starting quarterback is going to be, who's your starting running back?
Yeah, and pay them what they're worth. Yeah. And the one that hurts the most is probably Deuce Robinson leaving. That's probably one of the worst, like the gut punches that I felt. I thought he was going to have a really good year next year.
So Sam, you think that losing Deuce Robinson is a bigger hit than losing Emmanuel Pregnon, or possibly losing Jayden Maiava, or losing Quentin Joyner? Here's why. I think he's great, but let me just cut through real quick. Here's why. I'm not saying you just replace a Deuce Robinson, but look at our wide receiver room. We have Corey Sims coming in next year. I think that the drop off you're going to lose there, but you can't just plug in. Now, here, I'll tell you this. I mean, you guys don't know Micah Banuelos, but you might know him pretty quick. Let's see what young Micah could come and do at left guard. I mean, it's hard to replace a guy that's going to be a fifth-year player, you know, who's been in the weight room for all that time. Micah's coming off of injury, but I think Micah, I've been a big fan of his going all the way back to 23 when he was signed. So, I mean, I'm excited to see him get a shot, but anyone saying this is not a massive hit, man, I mean, Deuce is great, but there's other people that can fill that role that Deuce is going to do. Can we find someone to fill Pregnon's role the level we can, because they're more premium, even just for depth reasons?
Yeah, we need to hit the portal hard for offensive linemen. That's what we need to go after. Yeah, because we just lost like 3 really good offensive linemen for next year.
You know, Sam, can I chime in?
We need to hit the portal.
Sam, I want to tell you the one thing they'll really, like, honestly just do a little research on some of these young guys that are coming in. I know they're not going to play immediately, but you got like Dunn coming in and these different young guys that are on the map where I think they have the ability to really just step in and make an impact on this team. And I know, you know, I'm encouraged by it because I see young guys like Elijah. You know, that guy, I mean, they threw him on the scout team for Christ's sakes for a while there to teach him a lesson, and the guy bounced back, and now, I mean, to be honest with you, he has all the makings of an All-American. So I see a lot of these young guys that we've recruited and that we're bringing in, where I think we're going to be okay when it comes. Yeah,
well, remember, you guys, there's 2 guards we haven't seen: Hayden Treater and Michael Banuelos. Yeah. Again, I'm not trying to pretend. What's that one like meme of the guy, that Iraqi general? It's like saying there's nothing, that everything's okay. I'm not that dude. I'm not saying everything's okay. Everything's okay. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that it's not like the cupboard is bare. If this happened in 2022,
it would be
2023, maybe even maybe this year in 2024 with E-Man going down, it's like, oh crap, because we have lots of young guys. but those guys have another year in the system. And I'm thinking, listen, the same guy that brought along Emmanuel Pregnon, the same guy that had Elijah playing the way he was at the end of the season, is the same guy that coached those dudes. And I have faith in Hansen as well. I mean, he's coached guys who've gone to the NFL. I think if the sky's not falling, but anytime you lose your best offensive lineman, your most proven, let me say it this way. Anytime you lose your most proven and consistent offensive lineman, that's going to hurt your team significantly. All right. Hey, listen, great call. Listen, appreciate it. We got a couple calls stacked it up. That's a great call, Sam.
Okay.
Take care, Sam. Fight on.
Yeah. Remember, it's not as dark as it looks. It ain't a good thing losing Emmanuel Pregnon, but there are some guys that are very talented that are moving up and that I think can push in now, compete for that position. So we're going to find out. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Gio, calling from Anaheim.
Gino from Anaheim?
Gio, G-I-O. Yeah, from Anaheim.
Gio from Anaheim. Hey, Gio, what's on your mind?
Well, I just like everybody else, so I just want to talk about the transfer portal and how it's just getting kind of ridiculous that like all of our players are just moving on. And like you said, and everybody says, right, it's not like their fault. It's just the system. But it's just like getting to a point where, you know, us fans just can't take this, you know, that they move on and just like that.
Yeah, it's hard. And the first call we talked about at the very beginning, Russ was talking about this is not the NFL. This is fans. And again, NFL fans would jump off the bus. Even the most ardent Raider fan or Kansas City fan out there is gonna freak out if they don't know who their starting left guard and who their quarterback and their running back is going to be the next year. There has to be some rules put on. I'm not saying, because by the way, these are rules everyone. This isn't just happening to USC. It does, like Will brought up, it does seem like we're losing a hell of a lot of our marquee guys, though. That has to be a bit of a concern. But why? Everyone gets in front of themselves about getting all over the program, but then all of a sudden, like we wait about a week or two later, we're like, oh shit, that's why. Oh, that's why they weren't so concerned about losing that player. So I think we need to slow down and wait till the process goes through before we start losing our minds.
There you go.
You know, I grew up in the 90s here in Southern California, and I remember during the 90s, I watched a lot of UCLA basketball, but then
we'll forgive you.
A lot of them transfer back, and I just stopped watching college basketball, and then I moved into college football. But now it seems like they taking that old culture of basketball where everybody just transfers, and it's coming into football, and it's just getting like, I don't even know, like last year I didn't even know who Jayden was until, you know, this year when he transferred, and now he's leaving, and I'm like, well, who's going to be the quarterback now? Because Miller Boss was left already, so it's gonna. I think it's gonna come to a point where like you said, people are just gonna turn off, and then we're just gonna move back to watching NFL, which I'm not really an NFL guy because it's much easier to just have contact with high school players and just see them grow and go to college. But I mean, do you think maybe someday they're gonna have like a little like a treaty where college does become kind of like a G League to the NFL?
Oh God, I hope not.
No.
No, but just really quickly,
Paulie, kind of like a
no, bad idea completely. I'm going to tell you why. No one cares about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one's going to really. It's going to be an inferior product. How many G League games have you gone to, being in Southern California?
-1.
Right. Okay. So here's my point. So going back to the kids, these kids now play on the 7-on-7s, right? Or basketball, the AAU. Those teams sometimes are bigger than their high school teams. Why? Because it's a bunch of studs getting together and they're kind of popping around. You know, look at Bear Alexander, look at some of these other players. They pop from high school to high school. Look at these quarterbacks. They go to 2 or 3 different high schools during their career. It's more and more, it seems like these guys are just, and I'm not blaming the player. I'm not. It's what we've set up and what are we making? Again, the NFL wouldn't stand for it. Why? Because they got a product, they have a commissioner. The problem is you got a bunch of these old college presidents and the NCAA, not forward thinkers, just getting their lunch handed to them. because they're going to kill the golden goose. Why? Because they let ESPN and Fox become the masters of college football. And because of those entities is why we're sucking right now.
Let me ask you this. Why can't they just the NFL can just change the rule and draft 18-year-olds?
Because it's a different sport than basketball.
That will help. Yeah. That will help out. And then just if you sign like a letter of intent, it has to be for 3 years.
Go ahead, grab that real quick, and I'll throw it in there.
No, I'll tell you right now, Gio. The last football player that was accepted at a young age was Eric Swan, a defensive lineman from the Arizona Cardinals. But what you talking about college basketball? That's one thing that you need to withstand now. Is college basketball? They inherited the one and done, and Calipari was the primary suspect of that. He's the one that went ahead and started the one and done, and then other schools started taking on the one and done. For instance, Krzyzewski at Duke and Kansas and Bill Self and a lot of these colleges all started with the one and done. When they realized it wasn't feasible to do that, their programs were suffering from it. And I think this is a wave that we just need to just ride for now and realize that, you know what, we're going to figure it out just like they did back then with the one and done. They realized, you know what, this isn't working. And certain programs started realizing this is how we're going to go about it. So I think this is just a wave that we need to ride right now, Gio, and kind of just hold on until we figure it all out, man. And I know these universities, they're getting to the point now where things are coming to a point where they're going to have to figure something out here. And
the game is still a great product. Yeah. And It's still not ruined. I'm not saying college football is gone and ruined, but man, listen, those of you guys who were around, it just, for the past 20 years, right? Think about college football just 15, 20 years ago and think of the game right now.
Exactly.
It's the way it's run. You'd have a guy that decision in February meant something. Mm-hmm. It really meant something. You were going to go to a school for the next 3 to 4 years. You're going to take your talents for the next 3 to 4 years to a school, and you were going to play your mind out with your dream of getting to the NFL. Now people are hopping off and going to the place that just suits them the best. It's going to pay them a little more money. I know these guys, the top guys, are still looking at where am I going to be developed. That's the one thing as a Trojan fan you need to be happy about on the defensive line, on the quarterback room, etc. This is an elite place to come, to be at certain positions. But for some reason, maybe it's because of the turnover on the offensive line. Maybe Hansen hasn't had a chance enough to establish himself yet. I don't know. But people still, like Emmanuel, he wants to go to the NFL. He's talking, I want to jump up from maybe a day 3, day 4. I want to move in a day 1, day 2 type of player. And that's why he's back for the NFL this year. It's not going to be for a bag. That's part of it. But I guarantee you there's a bigger picture to all of this. It's not just making a little bit more money. That's probably not it. So thank you. By the way, great call. Thank you, Gio. Great call. Absolutely. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Call you there?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Danny from down here in Oceanside.
Danny from Oceanside. How's it going?
Hey, what's happening, guys? Fight on.
Fight on, brother.
That's right.
But listen, we've heard so much about NIL and portal, everything. We've talked so much about every aspect of it. But I just have a question that I haven't heard anybody really talking about, and it's Notre Dame. They've changed. Penn State's changed, but with the tradition and the history here at SC, the names on the back of the jerseys. Have you noticed that they've conformed and they've changed some of their things? And I'm just wondering if some of these players have in the back of their mind that, hey, I want my name on the back of my jersey now because I want everybody to know and not second guess who it is out there on the field when they see my number and the name on the back of my jersey and they think that they could possibly make more money. Yeah. Do you think that could possibly have anything to do with it?
Possibly, but we're still seeing great linebackers. Oh God, it hurts. Going to Notre Dame, they don't have numbers on, they don't have their names on their jerseys. They're still going to Tuscaloosa. You know, they're still going to
No, look at Notre Dame. The last game they just played, and all
the
throughout
bowl
the
games.
playoffs, they've
Bowl
had
games.
the names of their guys on the back of their jerseys.
They're right. I think they have a tradition. Will in the chat, if he's still there. Yeah, I think that you're right. They have a tradition in the bowl games. I think you're right. Maybe that's something the USC should look into, because here is the thing, and I think you hit on that.
Penn
If I did miss
State,
it,
Penn State as well. They converted. Penn State converted. They have their names on the back of theirs as well.
during the regular season, or no, it's just they didn't have the regular season, but yeah, during the playoffs. Well, listen, maybe SC
It's been in the playoffs, and I think when we played them, they might have had them. I'm
No,
not sure.
not during.
I'll have to check.
And no, I don't have to check. Mark Rogers just said it. I guarantee you, he knows. So no, I shot that game. And I know the back of the jerseys. I believe me. I saw number 11 sitting right in front of me, and there was no. So no, they don't. There's certain schools that do it, certain schools don't. I'd like to see SC maybe look into doing it for the playoffs, because remember this, that is an NIL thing. Name, image, and likeness. Look at the first one, name, and name recognition does matter.
Yeah.
Now, name, image, and likeness, really, how much of the percentage is really coming from true NIL deals instead of just, boosters paying them, right? But that could be a point of contention. Absolutely, man. Yeah.
It's different to think about it all, and it's with the tradition and everything here at SC, it's, of course, I'd want to keep it the way it is, but I can see how these young kids might choose a different school just because they know that the back of their name's going to be on that jersey.
I will say this.
But it's just definitely something to think about.
No, Danny, great points. Great points. And again, I'm with you on the tradition. I think tradition is huge. A lot of programs can have 500,000 jersey types, but they don't have the tradition. You see the traditional uniforms, you know who they are, right? Yeah. But I think sometimes you do have to evolve. You do have to evolve at some point. You got to keep up with the times a bit. But I don't think you need to put names. If guys are coming to your school because they could put their name on their back of their jersey, then maybe look at the wrong guy.
Yeah,
Danny, guys should be coming to your school because they want to get developed and go to the league.
Yeah, period. Danny, there's certain things that when you look at
100%.
Yeah, you look at Army, Danny.
You want to know.
Wait, hold on, Danny. What's that, Paulie?
I'm sorry, Danny. I just wanted to jump in. There's certain traditions when you look at it as a college football fan. There's nothing better than a Saturday when you look at a USC or you look at an Army or these different schools at Penn State. You look at the white shoelaces that, everything to the minute detail of a team's tradition. And you know what? That's what makes college football so special, man. I don't even pay attention to the names at all, to be honest with you.
I'm in between all of that. But listen, Danny, appreciate your call, bud. Thank you so much. We do have to be a tradition. We do have to stay in a tradition. Danny, can you hear me? Fight on, Danny.
Fight on, Danny.
Yeah. I mean, Danny's got some good points. There is some tradition. Yeah. I'm having some hard time hearing some people tonight. There is some truth to tradition, but there's also, heck, why don't we go back to leather helmets? Why don't we start wearing the horrible vertical stripes they had and remember all the vertical stripes on every uniform you saw? Why don't we go back to that? There's something to tradition. And I think USC, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas. There's something about these jerseys and those helmet games. Like we've been seeing all year as Trojan fans, seeing USC. Gabe and I, we didn't really think too much about Wisconsin uniforms, but watching, I pulled a couple pictures up, showed Gabe. He's like, dude, we showed a picture of both lines, Wisconsin and USC's lines lined up next to each other. There's something about those. There, that's the one. That's something about seeing that's special. You could make that all neon and flip it around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But look at me and put jersey numbers on the back. That's fine. Jersey names on the back. That's fine. But in reality, you see right there, you see Wisconsin and you see USC, and right away that's college football. You don't need a gimmick.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, Tim. The stickers on the back of the helmet, all of it, man. I love that stuff.
That's right. Buckeye. Caller, hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, guys? It's Christian from Mission Viejo.
Hey, Christian, how you doing? Uh-oh, here it comes. Oh, by the way, Paul, can I warn Paulie? Paulie, look out.
I'm ready for a question.
Christian's damn smart. He's got some questions for us. So. He always wants to get me.
Thanks.
All right, Christian, what do you got?
Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Mostly just, I wouldn't call it a rant, but I'm going to ramble a little bit. So
please do. Tonight's a good night for that.
Talking about you guys were just talking about the names in the back of the jerseys. Yeah. I like keeping the names off of it. I think what matters is the team, and I think it shows selflessness. Like you said, if somebody's picking to go to SC because they end up putting their name on the back of their jersey, you're right. They're probably picking the wrong player to come here. And
the main reason or only
a
reason
little
they
bit,
could like that, but not the main or the only reason. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. No worries. So going back, I joined the call a little bit late, hopefully, or I joined the video a little bit late. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But I mean, kind of dividing up who to blame for what's going on with SC and college football right now. I mean, sure, everybody plays a little bit of a part, but like, who is most accountable? Is it the schools, coaches, managers, the NCAA? I mean, kids will move around if they get an opportunity to get next to life-changing money. I mean, I think we have a lot of good talent on the offensive line. Going into the portal this deep in the cycle, I don't think we're going to find anybody that can replace Emmanuel. Something that I would like to see, I know that this guy isn't necessarily game breaker, but I would like to see them extend a scholarship to Killian O'Connor. I mean, he's been dedicated to the program, grew up a USC fan, Southern California kid. I mean, he does everything that the scholarship guys do, but stays to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what, he played out of his mind in that game. He played that was one point that I was really concerned about. And if you looked at the size of that dude, they had the zero technique they had. I'll tell you what, I think he must have given up at least 20 to 30 pounds on that guy. But what I will tell you is that he matched him pound for pound in heart. And really, there were a couple places that I talked about last week that pocket did get compressed a bit, but overall he held his own, man. And you would have no idea that guy does not have a scholarship. And I'm fully with you. He needs a scholarship without a doubt.
I feel you.
Even if moving into the future, he's the backup. I mean, he's still the second center. If center goes down, he's going in. I don't know. I think it's important to have him on scholarship, keep him happy.
There's no excuse.
Happy either way.
There's no excuse because they extended the scholarship limits. So I mean, yeah, he better damn well have a scholarship. Yeah. So yeah,
exactly.
What do you got, like curveball for me or what?
Also, no, I really don't have any questions this time. Sorry, I got off work pretty late. I didn't have any time to cook anything up. But one thing I will say about the transfer portal, I mean, I don't think that there's enough rules or regulation in place to keep kids from entering the portal. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard to keep kids to stay with the school that they're committed to out of high school after transferring one time, because there's really nothing that holds them back from it. If you do things like take away a year of eligibility after they transfer or only allow one transfer, kids might think twice about entering the portal.
Paulie, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, the one thing to me, Christian, that it's that's been affected by this whole thing is the competition between guys. I mean, coming in, it's just like that's pretty much non-existent now with this whole transfer portal, and that's what I miss. I miss guys being able to come in and not afraid to compete against one another, and I noticed there's been a huge change in the landscape of college football when it comes to competition. Now they basically, if they're not happy, they'll transfer out instead of saying, I'm going to stick this through. And there's not many Killian O'Connors out there anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it's a great place to prove yourself. He certainly did. He's willing to bet on himself. And I'm just saying that the days of the walk-on scholarship, the walk-on guys are probably going away, because those guys are now going to have scholarships. They're going to demand scholarships because they can go other places and get the scholarship. So just like everything, just like NIL, there's a market out there and you can be competitive and you're going to look into it. It's not going to drive everything because, again, remember, you guys, development is a big part of this. Like Maiava going to Miami. Oh, Lord. I mean, talk about going somewhere where quarterbacks die. Talk to the Oregon Duck fans. the fact that Herbert he made Justin Herbert look, I wouldn't say pedestrian, but he sure as hell didn't look like a guy that was going to be, an NFL starter. Let's put it that way, right? He had all the tools, but in Oregon, he really underperformed. So I mean, I'm hoping they figure things out with Jayden. Again, there's nothing official. It's just a lot of smoke. A lot of people have been talking about them. It's all over Twitter. All you got to do is go to Twitter. You'll see it everywhere. I hope they figure that out. But I'm just telling you, I don't know. I don't know if it's the place that you really want to go when you have an opportunity to stay here and get the tutelage underneath a guy like Riley, who's proven that he gets the most out of guys that he can. So great call, man. This Christian, appreciate you calling in as always. I'm glad because usually got to burn a bunch of brain cells just trying to figure out the question. The question is always second level. I mean, the question is hard enough in itself, and then you got to figure out an answer for Christian. But appreciate you calling in as always, Christian.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. I'll definitely put some questions together that are a little more tough next time.
Yeah, listen, I'm just kidding. Just bring the right attitude and bring that fight on, and I'm good with that. Thank you so much.
I love it, Christian. Fight on, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Fight on.
Absolutely, fight on. Yeah, I think overall there's a huge theme tonight about the fact that something has to be done about the portal. Yeah. It's helping a lot. Listen, hey man, if I'm an Ohio State fan, if I'm an Oregon fan, or schools like let's say even like I don't know how A&M feels right now about their life, but a lot of schools are really benefiting. A Miami fan, a lot of schools are really benefiting from the wild West right now. As soon as that tones down, I mean, you're still gonna have Ohio State pulling in top classes. We know that, but where are these other schools gonna go? I got a sneaky suspicion they're gonna slink out of the top 10 once they get some guardrails on this NIL stuff.
But Tim, the one thing I was thinking about is that I think the NCAA needs to do a better job of. I mean, there's so many fans from even tonight, just listening to guys. There's so many fans out there that are just completely lost, and even myself, understanding this whole entire process. And I have yet to hear from the NCAA to kind of guide us and show us and say this is this and this and this is how it works. This is what we know. Certain university. I mean, we're it's like you said, it's a wild West right now, man.
Really is. But really quickly, it might be a time. I think the time for the NCAA is going fast. I just think that they've outlived, especially on maybe just not for like the Olympic sports and some of the other sports, but I mean for college football and possibly even for basketball. I think it's a feckless institution. They have it's a paper tiger. They've got nothing.
You're so right about
that. They can make threats and then get taken to court and then fold? I mean, look at Tennessee. Tennessee just laughed right in their face. They just disregarded their rules and laughed right in their face. And look at Tennessee. Well, it pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so why would anyone listen? Hey, caller. Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim, it's Michael. How you doing tonight, sir?
Michael, how you doing? Michael Hogue. Dude, that's a legend. How you doing, Michael?
Yeah.
The man, the myth.
Hey, guess you. I know it's recruiting. But I would say if Maiava does go to Miami, who's going to be the starting quarterback for USC next year, you think?
I think, well, first off, I think that Maiava will be here. If you want to make my guess, I think they make it right with him. But if he wasn't here, I don't think that Longstreet's going to start as a true freshman. I just, especially out of the gate, because they didn't, the offense they run at Centennial is not the most sophisticated offense. And the kid thinks he's very bright, very talented. I'm not doubting he could pick it up, but that's a hell of a task to ask a guy to pick up in one off season. Just like everyone asked, Jayden Maiava, dude. But Jayden at least had a couple of years of Division I football under his belt before he came to USC. So my guess is if that were to happen, they'd have to hit the portal hard and they have to pay a premium.
Yeah.
If they want to take 2025 seriously.
Yeah. I got a two-part question. First one is, what should I expect from Josh Simpson next year as a new OC for Purdue?
Okay. Well, I'd probably go ahead, but I mean, listen.
Yeah.
There's a big Josh Henson fan right here. I got a lot of crap over the years for it, but go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
You know what? The one thing about Henson is please be patient with the guy. It's going to take a while. He has a certain type of player, a certain type of guy that he looks for, but it does take some time for him to develop them. But just be patient, and eventually. But that's a program right there, Michael, where they're going to need a lot of work, man. They have a lot of holes to fill.
Careful. That's pretty. Hey, that's Michael's team, by the way. Just go ahead.
No, I know. But you know what? Hey, come on, man. I the Boilermakers. I mean, come on. They've had a rich tradition, and I know a lot of people care about them out there. But you know what? I would just be patient with them. But they do have a guy that can really probably build from the ground up. just like he did with us, because we were our cupboard was completely bare, Michael. We had nobody. And
well, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's it. So, Michael, what Paulie said is right, but I don't know if that was a function of Henson as the issue, as much as that might have been a function of what we had in the cupboard, like Paulie just said.
Yeah.
The guys we had were already baked in the 22 class. And again, we've talked about this on the show many times. Clay McGuire did a great job, came down from Washington State and came in the last year. They decided, wait, here's a good idea. We're running an air raid. Why don't we get an offensive line coach that's familiar with the air raid, right? Instead of just going some random route.
Mm-hmm.
But what he did in that year, they look great. Look at how they won the Heisman Trophy for Caleb, because look at the next year.
Caleb Williams.
The next year, Caleb didn't get any worse. It's just that line, they lost all those veteran linemen. Well, it takes time. You know, I mean, it does. It takes time, especially guys, I wouldn't call them projects, but guys that usually California offensive linemen are usually a bit undersized. They got to get in here and got to get in the system and put some meat on their bones, you know, and hit the weights. But in the third year, which I said this was the money year for Josh Henson, knocked it out of the park, and that's why I'm losing Pregnon is there's no way to sugarcoat it. It sucks. But I think that we have guys like Saina, and there's a big nasty dude that can come in. And I don't know if he's put the weight on yet, but once he gets that weight on, he's gonna be something super special. And then I talked about Michael Banuelos, and then we have Hayden Treater, who now 2 years. Unfortunately, last year they spent both those guys spent significant time being injured, but I do think that when they come back, those guys are two guys that can make a significant difference on this line, and all that's thanks to your now OC. He's not your offensive line coach, correct? He's your OC.
OC.
No.
Right?
I think he's the OC, but I'm not totally sure. Hey, last thing before I let you go, Tim, you making a trip to West Lafayette this year?
My heart says yes, but my mind says no. There's I can't. I thought about going to that. If you want to pay for my ticket, I'm there. But I'm just saying. I think
tickets won't be an issue. I just didn't know if you wanted, if you can. Because I know you said you.
My plane ticket.
With the plane tickets and stuff like that.
I can crash on your couch, right? See, usually, I'll get a credential.
Nice,
I'll get a credential. I'll get into the game. But I mean, I tell you what, the game I've got circled. I've been to numerous Notre Dame games, but I want to cover the Notre Dame game, you know, as media. So I want to be there for that one. That's a guarantee. I don't think I'm going up to Autzen, so you never know. Maybe it's in the works.
I actually thought about going to that one, Tim. I actually.
Oh no! Wait, sorry.
Yeah, but it is sorry.
Wait, hold on.
I'm sure you can get the credential, but it is so hard to get credentials from Notre Dame. The last thing I let you. I'm going to ask you, though, can you remember, is this year going to be a make or break year for Lincoln Riley?
Make or break with the fans? Yes. Getting fired? Absolutely not. Yeah. I think a lot of fans, if you see another 5-loss season, you can see a lot of fans bail. Yeah. Probably including this guy. If he can't get it done, I get it. We've got it. Now the lines are built. He has this defensive staff. Riley's built this thing. He's got to make this thing work this year. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Tim, I'll get back in touch with you soon, man. I hope 2025 is a better year for you than last year was. Take care, man.
Hey, Michael, before you go.
What happened last year? I had a good year last year. Oh, even the football team, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, I'm just saying you and your family in general.
Oh, well, don't believe the hype. There was, I think, my co-host used to say, I don't know. That's the funny story. My old co-host, a couple of co-hosts ago, used to say all the things like, hey, you know, Tim, everyone say prayers. I had like cousins calling me saying, dude, is everything all right? I'm like, everything's fine. I'm just getting some stuff in for national board, but everything's good, man. I got my national board certification. I'm very happy.
Yeah. Congrats, by the way. What is Paulie going to ask me?
Oh, you know what? Just, I want to leave on a quick note. One of my favorite Purdue safeties of all time, Stuart Schwigert. Remember him? Anyway, I'll leave you with that note.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah. You take care of yourself, buddy. All right, man. Fight on.
Fight on.
Yeah.
Not fight on. Hit the drum. Hit the big drum.
Speaking of speaking of safeties, Oregon got a good one, Dylan Peterman, man. All right, take care, guys. See you.
Boiler up. That's what it is. Boiler up. Yeah. All right. I'll catch you later. Great call. Great call as always. Dude, Hoagie's always knocking out of the park. I love Hoag. And by the way, so I had to get him off the phone because I have to say, I got to be honest. It's the moment of honesty here. Look, I'm going to Nebraska. I'm going to Memorial Stadium. Okay? I'm going to Notre Dame, and I'm going to Memorial. Those are my 2 trips for this year. So
those are the 2 games that I really wanted
eventually.
to go to.
Yeah. Eventually, I'll get there. Michael.
I'm with you.
Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, Tim. It's CJ. Giving a call from Philly again. How's it going, man?
CJ from Philly. Always a great call. How are you doing today, sir? Probably not too well.
Up until a couple hours ago, I was doing great. But, look, I want to touch on just Pregnon and Maiava really quick. Look, not much to say on Pregnon. That one, I don't think anyone saw that coming. That's a blind side. Look, you can never, you hate making assumptions, especially, with these kids. But, you're getting the impression that somehow this has to come back to money related. I'm sure we're not going to find out the real reason for a while, but just sucks to see him go, especially after he gave assurances that, he seemed pretty committed here, especially before the bowl game and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Like you said, that's a hard guy to replace. That is, especially this late in the portal too. They're going to have trouble finding somebody out of the portal to replace him.
Yeah.
That's all I really say on Pregnon. My main part of the call was, and if I missed this earlier in the show, my bad. But it's really about Maiava because, look, I'm going to go ultimate tinfoil hat here. I was driving today and I was like, the timing of this seems a little odd. But look, one of the things you just mentioned is that, especially in this portal age, a lot of the times that you see the stuff you see on Twitter and everything, where there's smoke, there's fire with a lot of these guys. If rumors are starting on, between fan bases, usually a lot of the times there's some validity to them. So I believe these Miami rumors are probably true. But look, we talked about on this show before just how important, next season is for.
Hello.
A mystery Big Ten team out there is pushing hard for Quinn Ewers right now. Now, this is where the tinfoil hat in me kind of came out today. It's like, okay, well, is there a chance that, Lincoln knows I need to win next year? I can't really mess around with the quarterback position next year because he might not be completely sold on Jayden right now. Is there a chance that Lincoln's maybe behind the scenes going pretty hard for Quinn Ewers right now and Jayden Maiava? And, we know he's represented by Big Dave Uyunglele. Did they get wind of this? And they said, we're going to go see behind the scenes. We're going to go see what's out there. I know it's probably a stretch, but process of elimination, if you're talking Big Ten teams, it's not going to be Ohio State.
Oregon.
They got Julian saying, not Penn State. Oregon sounds like based on all the reports coming out of there, they seem pretty confident in Dante Moore starting next year.
Well, hang on, CJ. Every year, the words coming out of Autzen is that they're going to build their own planet and go make their own league somewhere. I mean, they always say that they're going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then coaching happens, right? So, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's not. But as far as the money that Quinn Ewers is going to demand, it's not. Obviously, it's not going to be Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. It's not going to be Oregon. I can't see Washington paying how much money. And it's kind of like process of elimination. It's like, well, shit. Are we this mystery team? Like, is Lincoln Riley saying, I'm going to put a lot of money into the Quinn Ewers basket, hope he wins his 10 games next year, gets me to a playoff. And that's kind of just where I was kind of, my mind was kind of turning today thinking that. I just want to get your thoughts on that, the possibility of that. I mean, we can go on forever about Maiava, but I mean, just your thoughts on maybe Lincoln behind the scenes is taking a big swing at a QB in the portal, and Maiava maybe got wind of that and he's looking elsewhere now.
Paulie, hit that really quick because I got a couple things.
I can tell you right now, when it comes to Quinn and when it comes to Lincoln, maybe Lincoln thinking, okay, I could bring this guy. Lincoln's not one to really just sit back and have deal with mediocrity when it comes to the quarterback position. I know one thing, he's very calculated when it comes to his quarterbacks. One thing I can tell you right now is that there's an absolute elite superstar. He's just not ready yet. But there's an elite superstar that's waiting in the wings there in Husan Longstreet. The body, the physical, he's a physical specimen, the maturity. God, he's just so mature beyond his years. But then when it comes to Quinn Ewers, I've heard a lot of things about it. I heard him passing on the NFL, thinking, you know what, I can go and I can make X amount of money, for being a hired gun at a place like that. But I honestly think, Lincoln, I know he always has a plan. And whether it's Jayden or whether it's a Quinn, whether whoever it is, I know there's something behind it. And I know he's not fighting. I know it's not about his job. I just know he has a passion and a desire to win. And it's whatever quarterback gives him that best opportunity. That's what they're going to do. And I'll ride with it no matter what. I got Lincoln. I have his back when it comes to that. What do you think, Tim, on that?
I wish I could have like a graphic of like the little devil and then the little angel.
Yeah,
exactly. Right now I want
right?
to lean in. I want to lean into your tinfoil and say, hey, listen, is that why they're freaking all these cap space up? Letting Branch go, letting Pregnon go, letting Quinton go because they're going to go for a big swing on quarterback.
Yeah.
But then I realized myself, okay, I think we're bailing on Maiava too. I mean, listen, I see nothing that told me. A lot of people are huge Jayden fans, and I've seen ability, but I haven't seen him yet in any of the games he played put it together to a level where I'm like, I'm cool. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's roll with Jayden. We're good next year. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's the most important position in football. But I want to be very clear. I don't know that Jayden's not the guy.
I'm here. I'm here. You're a little staticky on your end. I can't hear you very well. Can you hear me?
That might be our side. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, CJ.
Okay. I got CJ too. There's nothing that guarantees Jayden's a guy, but Jayden has every tool that an NFL quarterback's going to want, except for, I think, that poise and that experience. And he came in late in 2024. There's a reason why Miller looks so much more comfortable than Jayden, because he had all those years underneath Riley. This now he'll have an entire year. He'll have two springs, two fall and a spring to get ready for this incoming year, plus the games he experienced and the bowl prep. So I don't think we need to limit him. There's a lot of truth. When he's playing well, he plays great. He didn't play good. He plays great. He threw for a lot of yards in a lot of games, but he also had a lot of struggles, and this is a team. And I'll tell you, just ask Rattler. He's not the kind of guy that suffers a lot of interceptions and turnovers, especially when a defense, especially now, it might be different because we have a more stout defense than he had at Oklahoma. We had early in his career here. Yeah. But you can't, in the Big 12 and the Big 10, the possessions are limited. It seems like they grind it out. And so turnovers are killers. And any time that turnover is going to decide who wins games. But even more so, you cannot. And the problem I have with Jayden is that for so much time that he's had playing college football, he's still kind of he's still a lot of ways when there's pressure on him, he kind of looks like the same guy I saw when I saw film at UNLV.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get lots of hate for that, and that's fine. I'm not a hater. Nothing, ready? Clip this. Nothing would make me happier than Jayden Maiava playing 12 games next year, staying healthy, and playing lights out and going off to the NFL. Nothing would make me happier. Okay, I'm not rooting against the guy. I'm saying I haven't seen anything, and the teacher in me, ready? My big word, yet. I haven't seen anything yet. That can change really quick. And if there's a guy that changes, that's going to be Maiava. So my answer to you is no. We're not. I don't think we're getting Quinton Ewers. I don't think we're getting him. I don't think we're going after him. I don't think we're that team, is my guess. Yeah.
I think would make me happier than Jayden, succeeding next year and working out for us next year. I'm exactly where you are, where the past 4 games, look, I give him his flowers.
As you should.
Comeback. He really, really picked himself up in that fourth quarter against A&M, and I give him all the credit in the world.
And don't downplay that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't downplay that at all. But I'm with you where I say I haven't seen enough from him yet to say that's the guy that I'm 100% confident in.
Yeah, of
course.
Handing the keys to the offense for him week 1 next year.
I don't think anyone can. I don't think anyone can objectively. If they're being objective, there's no way anyone can say that watching the entire scope. We can't look at one drive, 8 or 9 throws, and say, this is our dude. He has not put it together yet. I'm not saying he can't,
I 100%
but he hasn't.
agree. Yeah, and I 100% agree. And this is just the last point I'll make, just regarding the Quinn Ewers thing. I don't think it's a secret. I think Texas is going to give Quinn Ewers, even like, look, he's not returning to Texas next year. They're going to give him the Dylan Gabriel treatment that OU did for Jackson Arnold. Sark is going to tell Quinn, look, we appreciate your time here, but they're going to show him the way out. If it's someone like Quinn who's like, look, I'm not quite ready for the NFL, which I don't think Quinn Ewers is ready for the NFL right now. If he's like, I need 1 year to show what I got, to prove what to develop, to improve my draft stock and show what I can do. I mean, look what Jalen Hurts did in 2019. Nick Saban specifically told Jalen Hurts, go play for Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Is there something maybe, again, behind the scenes with Quinn who might be like, you know what? Maybe I go play for Lincoln Riley at USC. Maybe that'll help my draft stock. Maybe, and we know there's always stuff going on behind the scenes there. I don't know. I just have this gut feeling about it with all the timing of it lining up with the, again, the tinfoil hat kind of came out a little bit. And I'm like, is this actually something that could be going on behind the scenes right now? But that's all.
I'm with CJ on that. I'm with him. I agree, CJ.
Okay, couple things though, right? We're assuming that he's being pushed out and Arch is being moved up because, I mean, as great as Lincoln Riley is, hey, that guy Sark's pretty good with quarterbacks too. But and listen, how much more can you elevate your game? You have the Sarkisian pedigree to you, but yeah, I mean, coming to Lincoln Riley, if you want to be an NFL, quarterback, that's a pretty good place to go to go that next level.
No doubt.
And also, nothing surprises me. Nothing surprises me in the portal. I think that the news we're getting right here, I think we're going to hear another piece, one way or the other, that's going to be a lot more shocking than Emmanuel Pregnon going.
Yeah, this next wave, man. We have no idea what to expect.
Great
for USC. You're saying you think
USC is going to get a big shocker one way or the other? Yeah, it's inevitable. I mean, it's what college football is now. I would be shocked if Emmanuel Pregnon. I mean, we thought the big news, but it wasn't. Actually, no, the receivers. That wasn't. Was anyone really shocked?
No.
That Deuce and Zachariah went in. No, I wasn't. No. The one that got me was Quentin Joyner. That shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So I think we might still have some more shocks. I wouldn't relax yet, guys. What's that? Buckle up. We're in for a bumpy ride. Whatever the old movie quote is. I think that might be the story with NIL. I'm hoping it's good news, not bad news, right? We can use a little good news.
Yeah,
but CJ,
look, if guys leave, that is what it is. But I would like us to start getting some guys in. If guys leave, that is what it is. But we got to start ramping up, getting some guys in. That's all I'll say. But Tim, I appreciate it.
Take care.
Crush as always, CJ. Thank you for calling in. You guys are the stars of the show. You guys make my job and Paulie's job a lot easier.
Great call.
You guys calling in and bringing that knowledge so much on the show. I love it. Appreciate you a lot. Fight on. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Let's get some good news though, you guys. But I mean, we're not done. Clearly, we're not done. The portal is what it is, and a move for a move. I think also, you guys. Here's one more thing. It's just like everything, like in politics. People think things happen, and I'm not getting political here, but people think things are happening right now in the now when something happens. Hell, that was decided maybe years ago.
Yeah,
definitely in economics. Months ago. You get the effects of it later on. We're just seeing the ripples there. This roster and why on earth? Just like why would you give people what your starting lineup is on Monday, right? There's stuff in the works and there's contingencies, and I'm sure there's some kind of flow to this, but we're not going to know the full picture until this roster is set. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. It's Brad from Mid City, Los Angeles. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Brad from Mid Cities. You go to El Cholos. You got me. Gotta go Mid Cities. I went to grade school. I went to grade school off Adams in Mid City, LA. When I was a little kid, I went there. Like my dad was still at USC. He's getting his graduate degree, and I was Adams and I don't know, but yeah, El Cholosville. You're in that range in Mid Cities. Hi, sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, like more west, like Mid City, like Fairfax and Beverly, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm on the border, but it's in the ballpark.
Ish.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Anyway, a long-time listener, first-time caller. Love you guys.
Love that.
You're a great USC advocate. You're a great USC advocate, and Paulie's just a ray of sunshine. I love the positivity, especially like during these times where I think as a fan, coming from the word fanatic, we can get really emotional. And looking at my Twitter feed, seeing Pregnon, that's the biggest hit so far. Like Deuce and Zach, we had too many receivers. Like we need to feed Mackay and Lemon. They're the two best, so I'm okay with that. Quentin Joyner is a bummer, but I love D-Jack, and we have that new running back, and I think we're probably going to get one or two other ones. But the Pregnon was definitely the biggest hit, and the one thing. It's so funny. The first time I've ever called, this is the first time I've ever called a podcast. I was working out at the gym, listening to you guys, and some of the callers just got me so fired up. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to try calling a podcast for the first time. So I'm like on my phone and have my iPad. I'm like, I hope this thing goes through. I don't mind waiting to talk to you guys. But the biggest thing, that I think people need to understand about this whole college football thing is, I know we're all worried about is this the end of college football? Is this going to be like the slow crawl to its death? But you can have an NFL without college football. High school kids can't, if you have a mediocre college football product, you'll have a mediocre NFL product, because high school kids need to be developed. So yeah, we're going to have some attrition and it's going to be wonky for a little bit, but nobody's going to need college football to succeed more than the NFL, because they're not going to get good players, so.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second? Do you mind? I like doing this. I'm not saying you're totally wrong, but can I hit?
Sure. No.
Do you think the NFL can squeeze any more fans out of the continental United States than they already have right now? Probably not. Talk about a saturated market.
Probably not.
Probably not. You know how you can get a big influx of fans if you're the NFL? Watch college football tank, because those fans are going to look somewhere else to go. Yeah, I got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now that's tinfoil. That's about as tinfoil as you can get, by the way. But hey.
Yeah. I mean, the hardest thing for me being a college football fan, an SC fan, is you cannot, back in the day, if you went to SC, you stayed at SC, and it's Trojans for life. It's fight on, Oh,
yeah, all schools, yeah.
This new era, all schools. Yeah, and the tradition and following a player that we fall in love with and then them leaving, it's just such an emotional hit. Even though Travis Dye only came for 1 year, that dude was a Trojan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Caleb Williams, when he came, was a Trojan. Jordan Addison became a Trojan. Yeah. But then last year and this year, when you start seeing this attrition, it's a bummer. Kyle Ford, even when Kyle Ford went to UCLA, I was like, oh man, I really love that guy. I was stoked when he came back and scored that game-winning touchdown. But yeah, that's the hardest thing for me is just, you fall in love with these players, you watch them in high school, and you watch them get recruited, and you think they're going to be a Trojan. And then it's more about the bag now that's why Oregon sucks. That's why Oregon, they just have a bunch of mercenaries, and they're not a team. But you look at Michigan and Ohio State, and I flipping hate Ohio State. I hate Oregon so much. I rooted
Let's
for
know how you
Ohio
feel.
State. Ohio State is the worst fan base on the planet. I'm serious. My nephew goes to I went to USC, and so my parents, I go over to my parents and they'd always root for USC. Then my nephew started to go to Oregon 2 years ago, and it's a living flipping hell. I go over there and they're rooting for Oregon. And my brother goes to me, he's like, I think we're going to go to the national championship. I go, yeah. It's like, you should be excited for me. If the Trojans were really good, I would be rooting for you guys. And I'm like, dude, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
You just don't get it. If you're a Trojan fan, you hate the Ducks. But yeah,
Brad,
so
Brad,
I'm
Brad,
actually
really,
rooting for.
Brad, really,
I'm rooting for Notre Dame. I'd rather have Notre Dame win. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Brad, really quickly. All you got to do is when you want to talk about Oregon, just ask what Achilles Smith's Wonderlic score was, and that's it right
Ask
there.
what?
Ask what Achilles
The
Smith
Wonderlic test for they give it the
man.
players
It
and
was-
quarterbacks for like
it
an
was-
intelligence kind
It
of
was one of
test
the
they do in
lowest.
the NFL.
I think it was the second lowest of all time in the history of the NFL.
I know, but listen, I don't. I mean, the Wonderlic thing's a bit of a anyway. Yeah,
I can't talk bad about Oregon to my nephew though. So it's funny. I came home and watched the game by myself, and when my brother's like, "Oh man," I'm like, "Yeah, I feel so bad for you," but secretly I was smiling. My soul was smiling on the inside, but I couldn't be authentic with him because I didn't want to break his son's heart. So
yeah, don't get duck all over
your show,
you.
guys. You guys crush it. No way. I mean, I'm roasting. I mean, whenever they lose, and it hasn't been a while, I would just send people like pictures of like roasted, like a Chinese market where there's roasted duck hanging in the windowsill. But anyways, I broke my virginity with you guys. I just had to call.
Great,
so
man.
fired up.
Great.
Oh, they're gonna clip that, by the way. But okay.
Every week.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah, great call.
By the way,
Yeah.
just wait. One more thing. Just so you know, you doing this with Paulie and you doing this with Preston is so much better. And I don't mean to talk poorly.
Oh no, let's not go there. No, appreciate. Okay,
well, but just Benny Wiley, Josh Hanson.
We can just say it because USC sucks.
No, look, hey, listen. No, stop. He's critical, but he loves USC. I talk to him every day. We would go back and forth. We'd have the arguments, but he has his views, and sometimes I lean into the positive, and it seemed like Matt would lean into the negative. And to be honest, on this show, we kind of both leaned into a role. So I mean, don't take it all too seriously. You know what I mean, man? It's Brad.
I get it. I'm not. I'm just venting.
I got you.
I love every USC Trojan.
Yeah.
But
love it.
I'm just, you should just call him next time you talk to him saying, well, maybe the reason Pregnon left is because his O-line coach is gone because he was developed great.
Hey man, by the way, there may be some truth to that. I said, I don't know if you caught it earlier, but there may be some truth to that because he's staying for one reason only. He's gonna be in the NFL. And if you look at the rookie, I don't know what the rookie salary is. No, I don't care where he goes. He's not gonna make that for an NIL. I don't believe.
No.
I don't think as a guard. But
I think
what I will tell you is
that's the interesting part, though.
What's that?
I was going to say that's the interesting part that when we got Kamari Ramsey back, we got Pregnon back. I was like, okay, cool. USC ponied up some money, and maybe that's the reason why they had to take some money and not give it to Quentin or whoever or Deuce or whatever. You have a salary cap essentially. Let's say you have $20 million, but you want to keep the two best players on the team, two leaders who are going to be like the older heads in the room. You give it to Pregnon, you give it to Ramsey, and you keep them. But so that's the odd part about it is, I'm thinking, do they not have enough money for Pregnon, or was the Hanson move, or was it a mixture of both, or what,
I think it's just like everything in life. I'm sure it's a lot of different things, but again, I'm with you. This is a very important. He's probably, let's say he got like a third, fourth round grade, right? And he wants to play another year. He's not playing for that NIL. He wants to continue to get developed, put some tape together, and try to push into that day one selection, right? And I don't know him. He hasn't talked to me. That would be my guess, because that's the only thing that does make sense. He seemed happy. I mean, he seemed happy here. That left side was looking phenomenal. I don't know. Maybe the question mark, like I'm a big Killian O'Connor fan, but maybe he's looking at, I'm not sure who's gonna be on my right. Elijah has been hurt in a couple of games now this year. I mean, it's ankle. It's nothing major, right? I heard, but there's a lot that goes into all of it. This is a big decision for the young man. And as Will told us in the beginning, he might come back. Maybe he's out there in the portal, but it's once you're in the portal, it's not like you can't come back. And believe me, USC, yes, thank you, please, if they could work something out. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Let's just let it play out and wish, again, as I wish all Trojans, I hope all you guys do. These all great. We begged these guys. Well, I didn't, but a lot of you guys did on your message boards going, please come to SC, fight on, Twitter. You're the greatest. Come to USC. Show that same love when they decide, look, this is the best for me, man. I'm going to go try to make some generation money for my family. Wish me the best. And I hope we all do wish those guys the best.
I love him. I wish him all the best. And to be honest with you, I'm more concerned with the center position than I am the guard position. We got Hayden Trader. We got maybe we can get Talele back. Who knows?
I don't think so.
In the portal, but maybe because Pregnon leaves. Okay, but I mean, I think we have some young studs at the guard. I think we just need a big center. I don't know if Emmanuel would be the center or he'd be the guard.
I think Emmanuel is probably your left guard.
I'm more concerned about, losing Pregnon sucks. Like, if he's an NFL guy, he'd be drafted. Absolutely. You can't say that losing him is not a really big hit. But regarding the O-line, like, if you looked at that bowl game, the only person we're losing from that performance is Pregnon. Like, Tobias Raymond played a decent game. He'll get better. That stud on the left who came in for Elijah Page, maybe he gets bumped into the left guard position. We have studs. Like, we have studs who are at USC. And then we got Dunn and the other kid, the freshman class. Yeah, they're freshmen. But they're probably not going to play much next year. But look, Elijah Page played a little bit his freshman year. You never know. So I'll stay positive.
No, I mean, you forgot about Saina. He was actually, I think he was rated higher than the stud you wrote for Tuanu. I got to get the names down better. But Saina, I think he absolutely could come in. He was a bit undersized, but he's had a year now. Again, I'm not doubting Rachel Suba and Benny Wiley. I mean, I think that they can put it together. And if he can make that jump in size, I think he's got lots of. Don't look at the size. Look at their hands. Look at their footwork. Look at their motor. Look at the toughness in these guys. That's why I went all in on that 2023 class, again, to some ridicule, but it started to look like I was right.
Yeah.
Great call, though. Hey, listen,
are you at all concerned?
Are you sure it's your first time calling? Because, man,
I was going to say, Brad's amazing.
He's going to take my job.
I love Brad.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, man, I love you guys. I'll listen to you every week. No, the last thing I'd say, do you have any, even though I loved him as our tight end coach, and I love the fact that his wife is like the best person at USC and brings more people into the program than probably anybody else, but do you have any concern? It's Heath Henson, right? Not Hanson.
So Henson, yeah.
Moved to the O-line.
Henson went to Purdue. Hanson moved from tight end to offensive line.
Yeah. So do you have any concern about his ability as like a top tier O-line coach, and that maybe that plays a factor in our O-line? I mean, he got the guys ready for this game, so he did a great job. But, do you have any concerns at all about him being in that spot?
Paulie?
No, there's no concerns at all. And what I mean by that, Brad, is, he already worked closely with these guys. From that tight end spot. When it comes to blocking schemes and all of it, the guy does have a history of actually playing the position. And then on top of that, he just has a magnetic personality where look what he did with our tight end room. These guys, he just does a good job, and the guys believe in him. And so there's no doubt in my mind he's going to transition well. If anything, I think we're going to see quite a bit of improvement as far as recruiting as well.
Better performance.
Yeah, and better performance.
Yeah, better.
Well, but hey, we're just coming off of two really nice tackles.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, uptick in that. Hey man, thank you. Yes, please. We'll take if we get an uptick in the recruiting, then I'm definitely all for it. Yeah, he was an offensive line.
Boy, I want to see Walter Matthews play.
Well, don't get Gabe started.
I really want to see that.
Joey Olsen.
Don't talk about the tight end. Don't talk about the tight end room. Don't talk about the tight end room. You know what's going to happen if we're talking about tight ends. Now, if I got Gabe producing the show and you start talking about tight ends, you know what's going to happen. I think Gabe fell asleep. Otherwise, we'd have something.
What do you think of Walter Matthews? He's such a big dude with great hands. Why haven't we? Was he injured all year? I know Joey Olsen didn't get in either, but like when Walter Matthews came, I was like, oh, that's a body as a tight end. But he didn't.
It's one of the most
at all. You know,
it's one of the most talented rooms on this team. I mean, you want me to ask you why a freshman didn't get in there? That there you go. It's just it's why he didn't play. Like someone later show was to get on Oregon. I love to get on Oregon as much as I can, but they're saying, but like Ryan Pelham didn't play at all. It's like he's a true freshman. Look at their roster. That's not a surprise. I don't think he should be upset that he didn't play. He's a great player, but his time's coming. It's just like same thing for Walter Matthews. Same thing for Walter Matthews. He just needs to wait his time, and when it does come, he's gonna be ready to wow everybody. Yeah, that's talking about a guy that everybody wanted out of the state of Georgia, by the way, when they plucked him out. Yeah, listen, great call, great call,
man, great call.
I love it. I hope you call in again. Yeah, I love these first time again.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Never disappointed the first time callers ever. Like almost never.
I got fired up on that one. I really did.
Yeah, absolutely. And that all you guys wallflowers out there, that look at, you know what, you come in and crank it out of the park like Brad did, or just call in, make fun of me, whatever you want to do. Just call in. Like I said, the phone number is right here. I can keep Paulie on here all night. I mean, literally all night. So.
I have nowhere to go and nothing to do. I'm ready. Let's do it, guys. Call in.
Oh, hold on. Talk about great calls. Dad, how you doing?
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Good. Say hi to Paulie here, Dad.
Okay. Just want to call in and say it's been a great show again. Just my thoughts going through my mind tonight are, thank you, NC2A. First, you tried to bury SC in a ridiculous sense several years ago, and we fought our way back from that. And now you gave them the NAL because to pay whatever you could keep SC down would allow to buy players to play for them. And you have a minor league now of the NC, not the NC2A, but of the NFL. So it's ridiculous what's going on. And the ultimate is that the players seem to float around, and I don't blame the players. I blame the NC2A with the ridiculous handling of this NL and not having any controlling rules on it from the start, which allowed certain teams, because they had a Rolodex of their supporters they knew could go to get money. And tops of the list, of course, our friends at Oregon. And I celebrated loud and clear the last day over yesterday. But so be it for that. But for USC, what's really sad is gone are the days of Marv Goux, who would say, we don't beg anybody to come to USC.
That's right.
And it's a new world. And it's a new world of what it is. Do the NL and do the ineffective NC2A, once again, screwing the ship. First with SC back when, and now with the league in general. I mean, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And when I hear somebody's willing to come back to USC and ignore the NFL for one more year because he could build up his stock, and I think, oh, great, we got the guy we need at the position we need, because that's the position that John McKay went after first. And I've always said, fill the line first, both sides. Offense and defense, then the quarterbacks, the other people, the running backs will follow after. And we were on our way to do that. We finally got things going back in the right direction. But now they've really screwed the pooch because they did not set the system up at all.
Yeah.
It's Wild West, you say, Kim.
That's right.
And that is disgusting. And I get tired of the complaints from people about, oh, you're just sad because you're not USC anymore. Well, we are USC, and we will be USC in the long run. You're going to throw some curves. This is a major one. We'll figure out a way, hopefully, to get around it. But we've got to get rid of the people of the NC2A. If we have to dissolve the organization, start all over again, I don't care, because they've mishandled this NIL. That's where the blame belongs. That's directly where the blame belongs.
Yes.
And, people are succeeding because of this. They're not complaining. They weren't complaining when SC got its penalties. Oh, they weren't going to support us. Oh, Pac 10, 12, whatever, wasn't supporting SC, or the teams would have sued the NC2A as Tennessee did. They were smart. We should have sued the heck out of them. Mike Garrett, unfortunately, played the right way, and we did not sue them. We should have sued them then.
Damn right, Dad.
We've got to stand up for ourselves. And once we do, we are SC. We're going to succeed. You got to be positive, as these callers have been lately, but we don't want to ignore what has been done. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Rack 'em.
There you go. I love it. I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now.
Now,
this is great. This is great.
You got it, Dad. Listen, I think my dad was referencing way back when they got Marv Goo and made him the fall guy for I guess it was like for ticket. They were talking about the old days when they sell tickets, and then they USC got a TV ban because USC was kicking the shit out of everybody in the 70s.
Everyone.
So they had to come stitch up USC and get them. And I think that's what my dad was referencing in that first part. Yeah. And then also we don't all need a lesson on what happened. We don't need a lesson on what happened with the Reggie Bush thing. We've covered that quite extensively here on this show, without a doubt. But yeah, absolutely pretty amazing. You know what I'm worried about is I actually now think that my dad might have called me on my phone line, which completely screws up the entire call queue. And so we might need to dump the entire call queue before we can call back. Because I think my dad literally called my personal phone number. so that usually kind of messes everything up, because right now we're not getting a new call through, and that's genuinely what happens when it happens. But assuming we can, question Joey Olsen. Yes. The Joey Olsen still continues into 2025. Yeah. Make sure you tune in to Gabe over at never mind, he's been found. Make sure that you check out Gabe's work, where it's extensively every day there is a Joey Olsen countdown for Joey Olsen to make his breakout game.
Where does he find this stuff?
I don't know where he finds those pictures. But thank you so much to the callers. Again, you guys, sorry, there's a call queue right now. We're going to have to wait for it to reset because I got to talk to my dad saying you can't call me on my personal line because I'm using the one cell phone. The problem is we have a call queue that routes through the cell phone. And if he calls me on not the 8899 Riley number, well, actually, no, that's fixed. So I don't know what's the problem, actually. Never mind. Because we fixed that problem last time. But
Tim, one thing that your dad brought up, and I'm a stickler when it comes to this. I constantly bring this up, that I hope these young kids realize that. I mean, it means something to be a Trojan, man. It's like Riley Leonard with what's his name over the Golden Domer. I don't even want to talk about that school right now, but at the same time, he said that's why we come to this school, because of this and this and this. And I want to start hearing players talk like that again. And I think we're on the right track. There's some young kids that are really, I've heard in interviews, they're really proud to be part of this university. And like I said, I think that's why I'm so optimistic about the future of this program and where we're going right now, is because we do have a good group of guys that could have bailed on us, that could have left and taken care of themselves. But you know what? They stuck around, the Shelbys and guys like that. So kudos to them, man.
Yeah, no, and I want to see that. Hey, callers, again, really quickly, if you guys, right now we have 4 people in the call queue. If you guys empty that call queue, I'll let you know when it's emptied and you can call right back. I promise we'll keep them short. It's getting kind of late tonight anyway. My flying to Purdue fund has no money in my Purdue fund, so we're going to call a show after about a couple hours. But I got people. No, now it just went to 8. You guys, everybody who's in the queue right now, hang your phone up. I'll let you know when it goes to 0. So everybody go ahead and hang up. Getting back to what you were saying, Paulie, about USC. I feel like I'm in school again. Students, hang up the calls. I will let you know when we're at 0. Now we're down to 1. One more person to say goodbye, and then we'll open it up again. But we're locked out until we get these calls cleared. Let me see if I can clear it. We got down to 1. Give it 1 minute so we can try to pull it back up again.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I know this is scintillating radio.
No, that's great. As long as we can talk about Joey Olsen, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Joey Olsen. Well, now we're down to one caller. So we're waiting for this one caller to hang up, and I will tell you guys when the calls open back up. Otherwise, I might just call it a night because, again, guys, whoever's out there just hanging on to this phone call, if you could please just hang up. My dad called in, messed up the call queue. You will not get through. So if you hang on, all you do is hold the show up. So please hang up. All right. Well, while we're waiting for that person to hang up the phone, just wanted to do this really quick and say thank you to everyone that was here. The calls, as always, Russ from San Diego, great call. Way to start off the Penn State guy. Juan, who had an interesting phone call. Juan, call back next time and let's talk some college football. Will ND, Sam called in. Gio, we have Danny, Christian, CJ, and Brad. Absolutely great calls the entire night. Brad is that first-time caller that I've been dying for people to call in. Love first-time calls. First-time calls are without a doubt my favorite calls.
No doubt.
I'm going to open up the StreamYard really fast because why not? This person does not want to just, I don't know if they're just having fun, but I'm going to copy the StreamYard. And if you want to come in, same thing as a phone. You'll be able to come in through the StreamYard. I'll pick you up. Don't worry. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat.
It's a good idea.
So go ahead and join us on StreamYard, and we can continue talking some USC football. I appreciate everyone being here. So just really quickly, Emmanuel Pregnon has entered the portal. We've been talking about that. We talked about how the NCAA has been asleep at the wheel for years, led to this point where, going back to the Ed O'Bannon case and just not taking care of their players. There's a reason why players had to get $100 handshakes. It's because the NCAA was really not doing their job and paying these kids enough so they could even survive on, which led to everything that's going on. There are some rumors and some smoke. And I was peeking in the chat. There was a guy from Miami saying that the Miami stuff isn't true. I've heard from a couple of people I really do trust that there is some smoke to that fire. Yeah. There's some fire to that smoke. Sorry. So we're going to be on pins and needles, but I also think that you guys, I want to lean into that tinfoil hat idea that people had going on for a while. That the fact that maybe, just maybe, there's I don't know, some free money now that's been then freed up that they might need. But look, we still need a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
We really do need maybe a couple linebackers. We absolutely could use a veteran tackle, although I love, and I will continue to talk about our offensive tackles. I think you might want some veteran leadership in that room. I mean, I know that because that young class, they're all going to be third-year guys. So redshirt sophomores or juniors in the case. There's going to be some guys that have some age to them, but there's no way to deny you need to have some of that depth in the offensive line room. So we'd love to see to get maybe another tackle in there for some help. I don't know. Your thoughts, Paulie? Because I think we're going to probably wrap it up.
Honestly, Tim, the one thing I was just thinking about today is the kicking situation, our special teams. It's like, we get so close. There's times where 3 points would have actually put us ahead in a game, and we end up missing a 38-yarder or whatever the case may be. Do we have any hope in that area? I mean, for this upcoming season? Do we have the next Andre Hidari in the mix?
Well, no, they did just pick up Caden Chittenden. Say that five times fast. That guy's a stud.
He's a good kicker.
I think he may have been a freshman in the chat. You guys love to tell me I'm wrong. He might be. He absolutely. I think he was a freshman All-American, but he's a hell of a kicker. Okay. So interested to see what he could bring to the team. And then Sayuri looked really good in the Vegas Bowl. Oh, there you go. Trojan Blade, All-American. That's why you should be checking out Gabe over at Trojan Blade. Just a fountain of knowledge. All-American top scoring player in the country. Yeah. Speaking of giving out flowers to everybody, I'm sure I need to double check my Twitter. Go ahead. Let me come back to that. But thank you so much to, I gotta say, people because we do have a lot of friends of the show that they retweet the stuff too. So obviously to the Voice College Football Network, Matt Stark. Thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate you. Gil Marin, and then Rusty over at Arrogant Nation and Trojan Blade. Thank all of you guys. And and Todd Olson. No relation. That's with an O. Thank you so much for retweeting and getting the word out by the show. And all you guys out there, listen, if you've enjoyed the show, I'm sure you've already hit the like button. Appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button and letting some friends know. Bring some Trojans with you. Let's get this thing going. Every Wednesday you can catch Preston and me, and then I'm going to be dragging Paulie out as well. You know, if Preston's busy, like, you know, let your friends know if they want to talk some Trojan football, to give us a call. Brad showed you how to do it. First time callers crushed it. Love to see it. If anyone wants to try to give one last call, I could try to test the phone line. But other than that, I think we might just get out of here because nobody. That's another thing about this show. We used to use the StreamYard all the time. I got away from it because when we used StreamYard, what would happen was I'd have like the same 5 or 6 people use it all the time, right? So it was kind of just circular. And when I started using the phone line, and believe me, I put a lot of time in trying to figure out the phone line, I started getting calls from people that we had never heard from before. People that aren't going to really maybe savvy enough to use the StreamYard. So StreamYard's kind of gone the way of the dodo, but let me know in the comment section. Do you guys want to go back to the StreamYard? It just seems like whenever I open up the StreamYard and give you guys a link, I think we're like 0 for like 3 now. When I put the StreamYard link out, nobody seems to be interested. Well, Paulie, this is a call-in show, and we tell people it is a call show. Oh, USC put out an offer. We spoke about it briefly. Do I have the card for that? For the 5'10" quarterback from San Jose State.
Emmett Brown, huh?
Emmett Brown. So he tweeted out that he'd received an offer from USC, and I'm not going to disparage this young man, but just going off of his play and just the overall measurables, I think this is your guy that's going to be your solid backup.
Yeah.
On the season. So Emmett Brown, I'm not sure, he has not, I believe to my knowledge, he hasn't committed, but he did claim to have received an offer. And then the other big information we have is a defensive tackle. That's sorry, defensive end. My bad. Sorry, 6'5", 250 is not 6'5", 250 is not a tackle. Although he might be. Jamori Robinson. Now this guy is the American. He was the defensive player of the year, if I'm not mistaken, Paulie.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, and all the intangibles. I mean, everything. I mean, I'm really, really excited to see this guy test himself against this next level of competition here. I mean, when it comes to going from a smaller school to something like this, but I think the guy, you look at all his intangibles, I mean, he's ready to step it up, man. I love this guy.
11.5 sacks on the season. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to cough at. I mean, not everybody can be a Tui below 2 and getting that rare of 20, but listen, we have the young guys. We've got some amazing guys on the outside that can rush the passer, but adding that rotation in there and get him going, giving him a chance to go with guys like Anthony Lucas, Cameron Fountain. By the way, do not forget about Braylon Shelby. That's the name that always, I'm always thinking 34 in my head, but that's one of the names I always forget. Get ready for the Gus bus. But if we could add these pieces to this defense and really give Danton Lynn that pass rush, because when he had with Leo Latu, when he had that, we thought we had a great defense last year. If we can dial up that pressure and let that secondary eat, I'm telling you, that's always going to be a good thing. Getting to the quarterback, making that quarterback get uncomfortable, making that quarterback get rid of the ball before he wants to get rid of it is always a good thing. So the more depth we can get there, the better.
But just the improvement in tackling alone. I mean, God, compared to, when he was around to the way we are now. I mean, I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, it's just night and day. I really feel this defense is going to go ahead and step it up to that next level. And like I said, we're already, when it comes to third downs, like, I don't even stress out really anymore like I used to. I mean, these guys are just phenomenal. I can't wait, man. I am excited about that.
I'm excited for the offseason. Thank you guys for hundreds of you guys people showing up tonight. I mean, we had about 250, I think, in the YouTube channel, but then just all the people on Twitter, I lost count. It's just really a great showing from all of you guys.
Yeah.
And there's my guy Petros. Petros is a long time supporter and the member of this channel. But this is 2 in a row. Petros adding to Tim Prangley's Purdue. Hey, Hoagie, I'm gonna be coming to Purdue because I got some money now. So I'm just gonna go right to travel. Kind of serious when I say that, by the way. But appreciate everyone being here. Petros, thank you so much for being a longtime member of the channel, as well as for your very generous donation. Thank you so much for the super chat. And again, thank you to all of the callers. Thank you guys so much. You guys make this show go. It makes my job so much easier. I know I talk too much. I should let the callers talk more, but this is your show. We'll bring up the topics. You drive it from there. First time caller, again, like Brad, is always welcome. We welcome your guys' first time call next time. Paulie, any final words? Like, where can they find you? Do you remember? Did you memorize your Twitter? Because that's what you're going to do.
It's at Walnuts 42042, I believe. But also on Instagram, you can find me at Paulie Walnuts 3232. I'm big on numbers, man. Yeah, obviously Magic Johnson and did a call come in?
That was a call, but I think they pulled the plug. Let's see. Hold on. This could be a personal call. Is it? Hey, this is a bill collector. Tim's not home. Otherwise, hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hi, caller. Oh, maybe this is a bill collector. Hi, caller. You there? Hang on 1 second.
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. Hey, do I owe you money? Oh, I'm just kidding. Hi, caller. This is Tim. Where are you calling from? Oh, he hung up.
Oh no,
caller. Listen, I'm so sorry about that. Listen, I'm so sorry. If this is a different number, caller, I will get you right on if you call right back. I'm so sorry about that. I was just messing around. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Sancho Panza from Albuquerque, Mexico, calling to talk to Paulie.
We're getting Cervantes novels going now. This is great. Paulie, who don't you know?
I know who this is. How you doing, bud? I love you, man. Thank you for calling.
Hey, man, I've been watching the show all night. Great show, guys. First time caller. Love hearing Paulie talk about USC football. He's a huge fan. And I just want to ask, why can't USC be the team to get Quinn Ewers?
That's a very solid question, Paulie. Listen, I want you to answer, to go first. You get the first bite of the apple on that one.
No, I want you to answer, Tim, because you know what? Him and I, this guy, we talk football pretty much every single day for like 2 hours.
Okay.
So I want to hear you, Tim.
So why can't he? I shouldn't say he can't. I just simply think it's very unlikely. Hey, look. Whatever puts USC, and like I said it during the Miller versus Maiava, battle, I truly love my Trojans. I just want them to be in the best position to win. And if Quinn Ewers were to come to USC, I think he'd be insanely successful. I just don't know if that. For me, I don't know. It just doesn't seem. Better yet, you talk me into it. I'm trying to figure the lines and draw and connect the dots because I know that's gonna be a pretty pricey penny. And I know that there's been, a lot of talk about improving this defense, and there's a lot of positions that we need to fill. And I'm not sure if we go full premium because that's going to be obviously the biggest ticket on the market, for him to land somewhere. So you sell me. Why is he coming to SC?
Well, I've heard, what was it? Sims was recently on Dan Patrick, and he said that a $6 million offer was out from some team for Quinn Ewers, and that Notre Dame has already backed out. It was too rich for Notre Dame's blood. So I don't see. I mean, USC. It's the Trojans. It's the men of Troy. This would possibly be something that they could do. And you're right. They do have a lot of other places they need to fill. That defense is going to be need to be upgraded quite a bit, especially now with the schedule they're going to be playing consistently. But I can absolutely see Quinn Ewers coming to a USC and making them relevant, making the playoff at this point. And then I know you guys have also talked quite a bit about the NCAA. That is a joke. It has been for years. They don't control football. The conferences do. Let's be honest. But I think USC has the ability to go out and get a player like this that can plug into this, be a competent quarterback in a difficult conference, but still give you an opportunity to make that playoff. And as we've seen, once you get in the playoff, anything can happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, by the way, the conferences do, and pretty much, well, two conferences do, and along with NBC, ESPN, and Fox. Yeah. So I mean, I'm with you. And hey, listen, in 20, I'm driving across country. This is a true story, and you guys know what NCAA is. It's in Indianapolis, and I'm driving right by the motorway on a cross country trip with my brother and my son, and we just went on a big road trip, right? And I'm driving, and on the news comes through the Indy radio, and it's saying that God, wait, no, I'm so sorry, I got confused. That's when USC joined the Big Ten. But going back to what I was saying, who thought when in 2021 that Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams would be at USC the next year? So for me to say there's no way, I'm not saying there's no way. I just find it highly unlikely, just given what I've seen so far. But believe me, listen, I Sancho, I don't know. Should I call you? That's wrong. Maybe I'll call you I'll call you Mr. Panza instead. It's probably better. It's probably nice. I'll call you Mr. Panza.
Call me Sancho Panza or Mr. Panza, whatever you want.
Okay, Mr. Panza. So I would say it's very unlikely, but when it comes to USC, I've been a lifelong fan. Nothing ever surprised me when it comes to USC. There's always going to be something. And I would say you brought up a really big point. If you want to plant a big flag, just like USC did in recruiting, if you want to go out there and get a big dog, just spend just that extra money, like they did with Stewart, and then just go up and make the big dog, the big guy move. Who knows? I'm just saying, what's the price tag you said? $5 million?
Yeah.
$6 million.
$6 million.
Yeah.
The reports are on SI right now, $6 million for
it'll be 1 year.
Quinn Ewers next year.
It's only 1 year. So wouldn't you rather spend $6 million on some offensive linemen, on some linebackers, and I don't know, maybe another corner? Do you know what I mean? I just think that money, believe me, don't get me wrong. I think Quinn Ewers would do phenomenal. I think that Lincoln Riley, especially with our wide receivers, I think they would eat, especially also with the offensive line developing the way it is. I think that would be huge. But I just look at, there's always going to be the trade-offs, right? And if you're going to trade off, that kind of money, I'm telling you, I think that's better served. Let's go out there. Hey, let's have some, networking, feelers go out and go after a $2 million linebacker, right? Difference maker at linebacker, and maybe spend about $1 million on a difference maker cornerback that's out there on a team very happy. Like people are doing it to USC. Everyone's doing it. As long as the coach doesn't call the player and they put their feelers out, everybody's talking to everybody. And I'd rather see that money spent on something else. That's just me, though.
Hey, can I say something really quickly? This is one of my best friends that called in right now. This guy's probably one of the most amazing and loving individuals ever. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for this guy. But you know what? In his prime, you want to talk about all world centers. This guy could probably start for SC. That's how good he was.
Wow. There we go. Do you have any eligibility left?
I couldn't start for New Mexico, so let's not push it. Just because I could long snap.
Hey, listen, if you've got some eligibility.
I had a random gift.
Hank Peppers needs a backup, Just saying.
We were at a tailgate.
I got 4 years eligibility. I could be a graduate transfer.
There you go. And you're listen, if you played any junior college ball to the county more, so just saying, add that to the total.
Absolutely.
Well, listen.
And the thing about the NCAA, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's a matter of time. Let's be honest. The NCAA, the NFL did not have this particular system of free agency till 1993. They struggled with many years trying to get it right. It's going to be a matter of time. But the NCAA, whatever organization is now in charge of college football, we're making a decision. You're going to see 2-year agreements. You're going to see, I think it's going to get to a point where players are going to start asking for guaranteed money. So you're going to want, that's the whole reason the NFL doesn't have 1-year contracts. Players want guaranteed money. And so you're going to start seeing a paradigm shift as usual. And it'll even itself out. I think there's going to be about 64 teams that are in that upper division, and they will all be playing under the same rules and regulations. And that's where USC, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So when it all gets regulated out, I'm curious to see how Notre Dame looks in that field. But that's where USC and that tradition comes back. When that playing field is level, you know, does a kid want to go to Tucson and play for Arizona or be in USC?
All right, that's okay. Yeah, I think that. Sorry, I was goofing around way too much. Here also, you guys, I want to get your point on this one. A lot of times you lose locker rooms, and I tell you what Pete Carroll did, obviously before the age of NIL, you got a lot of egos, and I'll tell you what. You know, if you got someone rolling in making $6 million, and you're blocking for them, and you're making, I don't know, your NILs, I don't even know the number, $70,000, you know, $100,000. How's that going to sit with you? You know, if you're the starting, if you're the starting 3 technique, and you're making, you know, a fraction of that, how's that going to sit with you? And having bringing in a guy from a different school to begin with is usually kind of a you know, bringing in a starter to come step in above their guy Maiava. You know, I mean, Maiava's been there for a year, and he's made a lot of friends on the team. Talking about team chemistry, that might also be a big hit. So it's not all about bringing in the guy; it's also about bringing in the right guy into the right circumstances. So Petros, very, very, very solid point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
listen, thank you so much, Mr. Ponza. I appreciate you. When you're not chasing windmills with your buddy, come call in anytime you like. Okay.
Just subscribe. I'm a fan. I'll be a fan of the show going forward. And thank you for having Paulie on, man. It was good talking to you.
Oh, I love you, bro. I love you, man. Thank you so much.
I would say go Irish, but I can't do it. I can't even for Will, so I can't do it for you, buddy. But I would try.
No, he's a great guy. Actually, you know, we've talked about maybe going and watching the rivalry together, man, out there. So maybe this year will be the
gotta
year.
do it. Paulie, have you been to South Bend?
Yeah, you know, it was years ago, but you know what, I now that, like I said, now that I'm older, I want to embrace it a little bit more. It was
just
back
remember,
yeah.
I mean, you got a great friend who's an Irish fan, but the fans in South Bend, like the fans, not the weirdos we see on the internet. Some of the best college football fans there are in the entire world, without a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, the last time I've been out to CSC anywhere was I went to go see. I won it was a revenue contest at work, and whoever came up with the most revenue in the quarter was would get free tickets, and I chose to go watch SC play Arizona. I wanted to see Caleb, man, in that game there. I think he threw 5 touchdowns there, so that was a great game to watch. And so I definitely need to. I want to go to Notre Dame is a must. It's an absolute must, and Nebraska as well. That's one of my other ones I wanted to go to. And
when I'm talking about fan bases, dude, Nebraska. You know, the few times we saw them down in the Holiday Bowl, and then they came to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then just watching games on TV at Memorial Stadium. Talk about your helmet game in Memorial. That's going to be something pretty special to watch. And see, pretty good comment here. Listen, the lines along. I think they are versatile. I don't know. That's asking a lot. Although your tackles, you have that GT counter that they run, and your tackles, I think, I haven't seen Justin move yet, but a lot is really asked that guard in Riley's system.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm not doubting, but he's a pretty big dude. I don't know. Again, here's what I'm trying to say: the losing Pregnon now compared to losing Pregnon. And by the way, we hope you come back. E-Man, we would love for you to come back. But if he were to losing, sorry, caller, I will be with you 1 second. For him to leave now is a different story than, again, last year, or definitely in 23. You know, big difference. The short answer is listen. I think that we have lots of guys, lots of young guys. I mean, again, guys, Justin's just a freshman. We have sophomores along there that could also do it. And if we're talking about it, I mean, talk about freshmen. I think that Alex Payne, I've kind of cased around with Gabe. I don't mean Gabe. I don't mean game one. I mean, 8, 9, 10 games into the season. every year there's a lineman. I really just go, they really just go, wow.
You know, you've been really high on him, Tim, and let me tell you, he has those nice long arms, perfect for a tackle. My God, that's what I see in him. He might be able to make an impact sooner than what people think.
So to answer your question, Chicano Sports TV, I'm not sure. Is my short answer. If that's a viable thing. I mean, I'm sure. Listen, I think if his mobility is there, he definitely showed that he can pass. That he can block. Let's see when he gets those elbows in and he's just kind of doing that guard thing. But can he pull? Can he do the little things that he's gonna be asked to do in the Lincoln Riley offense? I'm sure that's gonna be a big thing that I'm sure all the guys are gonna get a shot at. But I'm huge on Micah Banuelos, you guys. I've been talking about being high on someone for a while, and then Hayden Treater, both guys. Hayden, and I've seen him a couple times on the field. Dude is huge.
Yeah, so
it's just like he and Tobias Raymond. It's like it's like you know they're big, but when you get next to him, you go, these guys are massive. So I mean, good point. I'm sure there could be lots of people going back to the point that losing E-Man's gonna be hard, but I think that USC is in a much better position now than they were a couple of years ago, and even last year, really.
Most definitely.
Hi, caller. Thank you for being so patient. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Ron. I'm calling out of Carson.
Ron, how you doing?
How you doing, Tim?
I work in Carson. Fight on, man.
Fight on.
Oh, I got to be careful. I can't.
I wanted to touch on a few things. Yeah, I wanted to touch on a couple of things regarding the show tonight. I would like us to get back. I'm talking about SC when it comes to our reputation. That's the biggest thing that we've taken a hit on our brand. That, of course, we've had some down years that people don't want to, players don't want to come to our school, but we're trying to make that over. We're trying to do a makeover and get back to our roots of what we are. If we can do that and stop worrying so much about a guy that transferred, that's the world we live in today. You touched on it earlier tonight. If a guy feel like he's not getting paid what he's worth and the time and effort, we have to take into consideration why this guy's getting up at 5 a.m. drinking protein shakes and working his butt off, and then he goes to work, and there's another guy at another school that he knows he's better than, and he's making the kind of money that our guy wants to make. If we're not going to pay them, it's c'est la vie. I still love, adios. They're going to be gone because they feel that they can get what they want over there. On the other hand, they may be sacrificing their personal development. That's the problem with the money bag, the grab that these kids are going for now. They're not looking at like, okay, well, if I go here because they're going to pay me, I'm going to go to Oregon because they got tons of cash and I get all the perks, the Nike perks and everything. But how many guys at my position have they placed in the NFL? And how are those players doing in the NFL right now? Do any of them have long-term contracts? Are they set up to where they don't have to work for the rest of their life just off one contract? And then they're getting a second contract? That's what a lot of kids are sacrificing. The development. What's going to make you stand out at the next level? Yeah, you might get drafted or you might not get drafted, but are you getting developed to where you can sustain a job in the NFL?
Yeah. Again, it gets sticky with the labor laws, but I would, in the United States, and you're right to earn. But I'd love to see some kind of, at a minimum, like a 2-year contract. I'm thinking 3, the old school rule, right?
Yeah.
You lock in for your 3-year, and then, hey, you want to go to the pros, go to the pros. If you're that guy that maybe you're not quite ready, or maybe you feel like you're probably better, you need a little more development or whatever. Maybe you're not going to the NFL. Be like, hey, look, I got a market. I got 2 more years possibly to play here. You guys want to talk again? We can, or if not, I'll go somewhere else. But there has to be some kind of guardrails put on. And Lincoln Riley talked about earlier on when you were discussing. Lincoln Riley says, "Hey, look, this is just business now. It's the way this is. No one likes it. He doesn't like it. I don't like it. You don't like it. But this is what college football is now." And Lincoln Riley addressed it. I think it was after, I don't know, it was right around the time when Quinton Joyner entered the portal. I mean, it was
right after.
I can't remember, but he said it. It's true. You can't. It sucks. If you're old like me, you remember having the same infield for the Dodgers. It was wait, what, huh? Steve Garvey got traded to the Padres? What? I mean, it's like, and then it's our free agency and everything started getting all screwy. And I'm still a diehard baseball fan, but I'd be lying to you if I feel the way about baseball like I did when, again, you would have the same guys on your team year in and year out. Sure, you'd pick up one guy here or there, or a young farm prospect would come up through the system and, displace one of your favorite players, but at least it was coming from the farm. Now it's just like, it's just free agency and everyone's leaving. You can't hold anything together. You got to get used to change because life's about change. But he just said, be ready for it. You can't get attached to the players. And I hope you're right. Here's the one thing lost in all this. A lot of these kids have agents, like proper agents now running this stuff, doing contracts. I hope they're not looking at their commission over what the kid's long-term, like you said, his long-term ability to play in the NFL or just capitalize on a great on a great degree, with USC and with all the networking. I hope that they have the player's best interest, whoever is working with them. So
that's an excellent point, Tim. Like, is the agent trying to look out for his own pocket, or is he invested in the best interest of that player that he's representing? Because that's really, really matters. You're gonna get what you're gonna get as an agent, but you have to put you're representing a client. A player is your client. You need to put him in the best position that he could succeed, short and long term. So if let's say he would take a little bit less money to stay at SC or to go to SC versus making a bigger bag at Oregon, but the long-term investment at SC, working under Danton Lynn, and if he's on the D-line working with Sean Newell and Coach Henney, that's pure development. That is proven right there. Yeah. You're going to get the tools and the techniques that you need to be successful at the next level. That's what the agent needs to be presenting to these kids, because you're representing them, and the first representation is to represent to them to let them know this is what we're out to get you put in a position where you're going to get compensated your worth, but you're going to get compensated your value on the field. You're going to be fully developed. You're going to be prepared. That's the one thing SC, like schools, your blue blood schools, that's the pipeline that these schools have, is that long term you look up and have iconic players that came through their university and did their thing at the next level. Like we have a guy like that'll come down on safety, that'll talk. We can bring legendary safeties in the NFL that come and talk to these kids because they came through Heritage Hall. These kids, that tradition and that history is not being presented. That's what we need to get back to. It sucks losing Emmanuel Pregnon. When I logged on and I saw that, it's like your heart kind of dropped. Like you're like, oh man, what the hell? Say it ain't so. Then it's like, oh, negotiations for Jayden Maiava. It's like, dang, what's going on? It sucks, but we have to understand, like, this is like, you have to roll with the punches. You can't let that speed bump flatten your tires. It's a speed bump. Yeah. You go over it and you go on. You move on.
Perspective, and I think you have it, and I think you're right on it. I do want to believe a lot of these parents. I mean, I hope the parents are involved, and coaches and whoever these young men could get in their circles, just to make sure that they're being represented in a way that, whether to stay or to leave, that's in their personal best interest. Because I mean, where it starts, where my heart goes is instantly the players. I mean, I'm a USC Trojan, but anybody ever comes and plays at any university, and I'm also a teacher, so I just want young people to have the best options in the world for them. And if it's here at SC, absolutely great. If it's somewhere else, I wouldn't be a real fan if as soon as they change colors, all of a sudden I just forget who they are and what they did. I bring up all the time. Even a guy that never played a down, right? For USC, there's some players that portal out, but that you forget that those guys were getting the starters and the guys that are getting on the field. They were there to help them on scout team. They're spilling blood, sweat, and tears trying to make the travel squad. People forget about that, and you can't forget about the dedication and the time that every player on that team puts in, whether they're scholarship or not. And I think a lot of people forget that piece. But I'm glad you remember it.
I got a question for you fellas, real quick.
We lost Paulie, but I'm still here.
Paulie.
We lost Paulie.
Okay, all right. I got a quick question. When it comes to a guy wants to leave, right? What do you think? A player that's leaving gets? Because I've paid attention to this, and I feel like all the players that transferred out of SC, they get forgotten. Where are they now? Like, what are they doing at the schools? Like, who left USC and went somewhere else and got fully developed and just killed it that next season and got a high draft pick and actually doing well in the NFL.
Ooh.
Like who? Compared to all the players that come transfer into USC and they have their best season of their, they've had the best season they've had. Look at Woody Marks. Compare what he did at SC compared to what he did at Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Marshawn Lloyd.
He played well there.
Look at Travis Dye.
No, I mean the guys you're naming played well at their previous stop, but absolutely, I think all of them, almost to a player that you just named, were very happy they came to USC and they did thrive, especially those backs in Lincoln's system, throwing to their backs. Yeah.
And then even look at look at all the players that just even the players that are here. Look at Eric Gentry. Like I seen a podcast where he didn't want to leave Arizona State, but he knew what was best for him to go over to USC. Like we didn't try to make him okay. We need to change position because you're too thin.
Mm-hmm.
We work with the guy. Like players come to SC, they transfer in. They have how many? Look at all the players that got drafted, and they might not have gotten drafted if they didn't come to SC. Compared to how many guys, like where's Mario Williams? What is he doing? Where's was it Relief? What was the running back?
Relief Brown. Relief Brown. Yeah, he still hasn't. He still hasn't found his stride yet. No, and Malachi Nelson obviously didn't. Domani Jackson got a lot of crap from the USC fans, but at least he's starting at Alabama. And anytime you're starting at Alabama, you're doing well. But and he started out pretty hot. I don't know. I don't really. I'll be honest. I don't really follow every single game. I don't watch every Crimson Tide game. But I know he was starting. But you're right. There's not a long list of people that leave USC and go off to have an improved career. Let's put it that way.
Right.
They brought up Jackson Dart, which is a good example. But Jackson. You have Lincoln Riley coming over and bringing Caleb. The writing was on the wall that he's going to go somewhere else. And if you're quarterback, you go play for Lincoln Riley. Then for Lane Kiffin. Then that's just like similar to playing for Lincoln Riley. Yeah.
Matter of fact, Jackson Dart is probably the one player that he left and he's done what he would have done at SC. At least that he's done that. And he at least he knew like I like Miller. You root for the guy. He's likable, but like the system, he didn't quite fit the system. I really believe that when Jackson Dart knew he needed to go when Caleb was transferring, that was Miller's cue too as well. Like he should have saw the writing on the wall, but he was loyal to a fault, and the fault ran out. Like,
well, but listen,
it came down. We gave him most of the season.
Again, I've been calling a Miller apologist. I've been every name in the book. Yeah, I hate Jayden. That's all ridiculous. I just kept saying the same thing that I think I haven't been to practice. I've been like the 2 practices. All the people screaming that I'm an apologist. They didn't go to any practices, let alone the ones going up to the games early this season. I watched that second half of Michigan. I watched that LSU game. I even heard people saying, when did Miller ever bring us back like Jayden did? Short memory, folks. I think that both of them played great. I think Miller was a true Trojan stay. We're very lucky that he did stay because Jayden just showed up. I mean, he did, he was eventually picking up the offense, but back in September, he wasn't ready to lead this team at the very least, and quite frankly, people say, well, Miller wouldn't have won these games. How do you know that? You don't know that. We don't know that. They're 2 different types of quarterbacks that both bring a lot to it. We don't know how the season would have played out if Miller had played. I don't know. There's a lot of silliness that went around all of that Miller versus Jayden stuff, and I'm glad that part is just kind of over. We can move on. But that's what's always been. You want to go all the way back to John David Booty and Mark Sanchez. I mean, every time there's like we go back to Max Brown and Sam Darnold. Everyone's favorite player is the backup quarterback, and it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that way. But listen, Ron, I appreciate your call. I've got 2 calls backed up. I think this was your first call, was it? This your first?
Yeah, it's my first time calling in. I tune in all the time, but usually I have to catch it late. Like the show is over and I'll just watch it on YouTube. But I actually was able to catch the show live. So I was like, I'm going to call on in.
Yeah, listen, I think I might do some. I've actually had a couple people in my DMs say to me, by the way, my DMs are open, Tim_Prangley at Tim_Prangley, Instagram and YouTube, and Twitter. Sorry, it's late. You guys feel free. Any questions or concerns, any maybe things you want to see on the show, let me know. Always open, always looking to improve. But Ron, thank you for calling in. And one of those things, Ron, was, hey, can you guys do some later shows? And sometimes it's just because of my co-host. I got to figure out whoever the co-host is. Like currently right now with Preston, he young man's working his butt off, so he can't always stay up late. But we can figure some stuff out. And I really appreciate you calling in, Ron. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Fight on, Ron. Oh, you'll take that one probably, I bet, but you want this one too. Nope, I got the wrong stuff queued in. I'm not gonna. You got your first time calling. I've got to get you the proper send off. There we go. Hey, caller, hang on 1 second. Thank you, Ron. Love first time phone call. I love all you guys. I love everybody that calls in, but I just absolutely love first time callers. So thank you, so Ron. Great call. Excellent call. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave from Irvine. First time.
Oh, there we go. Look, we got enough. We're 3 for 3 first time callers. Dave, thank you for calling in. What's on your mind?
So a couple things. Number one, I got to say thank you for being a Trojan fan, man. Like so many LA sports teams are cursed with having non-fans covering them. Don't want to call out Ryan's boys, but there's one over there. He's not exactly a Trojan fan. Called in because there's a couple things I wanted to address. Number one is the whole NIL thing. People keep talking about the NFL model like it's going to solve anything. It's not, man. The salary cap is based on what teams can pay players. NIL is not being paid by the university. So, the salary cap, like Tom Brady's salary cap, doesn't count for commercial he does, et cetera. You know the deal. It's the same thing with this league, right? So I don't think that you can count on the salary cap coming through and just fixing everything the way that a lot of people think they will.
Now, question, because
right?
Dave, you sound like let's do one. Yeah, let's do one at a time because I'm late. It's late. I'm tired. Right, and that's the one thing. I mean, I know I talked to Gabe about this, and the EPL, the English Premier League. They have, and I'm sure, and all the soccer leagues. They're very careful, and I know in the NFL they have something in place as well, where you can't induce someone to get around a salary cap by like offering them, a side deal. Do you know what I mean? So, for instance, when you say that Tom Brady deal, that's not affiliated with him being, with Tampa Bay or with the Patriots, right? It was like it's just here you go, boom, here's some money for being in commercials. You know what I mean? So that's where this all kind of gets a bit fuzzy. Is Nike, hey, we're gonna throw a bunch of, but if you don't go to Oregon, I don't know if we got a deal for you for those commercials. You know what I mean? So is there a way around that?
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be right now, and it's not happening, right? So probably not.
Yeah, probably not at the NCAA. No.
So that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Most feckless institution of all time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. So that was number one. Number two, wanted to call out your boy at LAFC. Love him, but Coach Rose saying
watch it.
He should be able to roll the ball on the field and beat a Maryland or a Minnesota.
Okay.
I know. Hey! I'm just saying. He's saying that in the current era, you should be able to roll the ball on the field, and SC should just win based on talent. Take a look at Texas struggling with Arizona State of the talent differences, parity, money being involved in everything. I just don't think that's the case anymore. So I think that's a bad take, man. Just going to call it out for what it is. I'm wanting to say it for a while. Got my chance to say it. Got any response for it?
Well, was he? I mean, I'm sure some of that was tongue in cheek. Look, Coach Rowe played football at USC. He played at Long Beach Poly. Has coached football. Knows a lot more about football than I do. I'm not sure if he meant that like literally or more tongue in cheek. I'm thinking he probably was more tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah, that's probably But I mean. Okay, but to a certain degree,
right? Like I'm not trying to talk shit.
Yeah, I would say no. I think a lot of people don't realize how good that Minnesota team is and how gritty under. Oh my God, row the boat! It's late, you guys. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Who's the coach of Minnesota? Fleck. Under Fleck, they're always gritty. They're always a gritty team, and we win there. And let's face it, we didn't win that game But we didn't lose that game. I've never in my life seen a rule rewritten. Oh no, that's right. The NCAA rewrote rules to get USC in the Bush case. But here's another time where they go up to the it is late, guys. Sorry, the booth, and they review it. Did anyone see a football anywhere that was in the guy's hands crossing the goal line? Not a single shot had anything close to that. Matter of fact, we see the ball just like kind of floating in the middle of the pack, and that guy who was carrying the balls off to the left. That was a travesty. There's no way that should have at the very least gone to overtime. You know, so that game in itself, I'll fight all day long. USC didn't win that game because that wouldn't have. There was a tie game at that point, but to give Minnesota that touchdown. But anyway, back to your point. Sorry, back to your point about the about just rolling the ball out. I don't think a lot of Pac-12 fans and USC fans realize that Big Ten football, you know, it's not the big monster all the Big Ten people told us it was going to be, but Minnesota and their defense, especially their pass defense, you know, it gave USC some fits. So no, you can't just show up and think your athletes are going to be able to beat a good scheme. Kids are coached well, and then show up there and play lights out. So yeah, no, I honestly don't think that he meant that literally. I think he did mean it probably very figuratively.
Okay, I mean, all good. You know, like I said, love the dude.
But Maryland's a different story. Maryland's a different story. I almost want to say what he said. There's no USC never has an excuse losing to Maryland. Not that Maryland team. No way. No way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to excuse the loss. I'm just saying that, you know, Texas has no business making it a game against Arizona State either, just, you know, with the roster being what it is. And that's one of the bigger talent gaps. I mean, it's a bigger talent gap than we had versus a couple of those teams, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But just my take on it. The third one.
Wait, really quick. Let's go back because one thing you're forgetting about, because I think coaching is very important, and I think development is really important, and I think scheme is very important. I don't think you're giving Coach Dillingham, who I think is that if we didn't have Lincoln Riley, I'd be banging the drum so hard to get him at USC. I think Kenny Dillingham's an insanely great head coach, and you're right with the talent at Texas. You're probably right on that point, but you went up against some guys that were motivated, and there's some skill on that ASU team, especially their quarterback, who I'm going to completely forget his name, not Scatterbo at running back, but the quarterback. Anyway, I could see that game being close. I didn't think it'd be that close, but I mean, I've got a lot of respect for Kenny Dillingham. Sorry, next point.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Third point, gotta call out one more podcaster just very gently. There's one in particular who has been on a crusade to get Riley to hire an offensive coordinator and kind of Peter principle the guy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that concept.
I'm fully aware, but I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. The Peter principle.
Okay,
yeah. He is not. He is. Yeah, where you rise to a level that, and then you descend back down to where your eventual level should be. Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying is, my point with it being that Riley is a gifted play caller, right? It's his best attribute. It's why we hired him. It's why he's, you know, running the
yes
right now. And having an offensive coordinator calling plays instead of him doing it would basically be taking away his best asset to make him do something he's not good at, which is game management, all for the sake of him being better at game management. I understand the theory. I just think in practice it's wrong. I'd much rather spend that money hiring somebody to help him manage the game, sit up in the booth and say, hey, call a timeout here. Hey, do this with the clock or whatever. He can learn there. The example frequently given is Nick Saban not calling his own defense anymore. Andy Reid calls his offense, as we kind of found out with the enemy this year too. It goes both ways. It's doable. That's all I got.
There's a lot. I'm fully with you. If you're going to hire Lincoln Riley, you're not hiring him not to call plays, or find someone that can call plays better than Lincoln Riley. Because I think people can call a timeout better than Lincoln Riley, right? Hire a guy that's going to do that. Maybe do a little of the game management. I mean, we're not talking massive decisions. Most of this stuff is done with analytics anyway, correct? Have some dude up in a booth with his big laptop and just figuring the analytics of it and when they should that, and let Lincoln, before you're going to get rid of Lincoln as your play caller. Yeah, that makes no sense. That's literally that literally makes it. That's like having drafting Tom Brady and putting him at right tackle. Like, Why are you going to do that? I mean, it's like you hire a guy for a specific
100%.
reason that he's elite at. You're not going to move him to a position or move someone in ahead of him. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. If you're going to get that guy for a reason, that's why Oklahoma was so successful. Shit was not the defense with Mike Stoops and with Alex Gridge. It definitely was not the defense why you hired him. So, and he said
exactly. And why take away his greatest strength, right?
I was like a foot from him. Well, not that close. That's creepy. I was like 2 feet from him when he literally said, "Hey, look, we'll review that. We'll look at it. And if the time comes where I feel we have someone that can call the plays better than me and I'm hurting the team, then we'll make that change." I believe him. How many people, guys, how many offensive coordinators out there you think can call a game better than Lincoln Riley? If any, it's a very small few. So I'm not sure what you guys are thinking. People bang that again. Everybody wants to make it about one move, and boom, we're in the playoffs. One thing, change one player, put a new quarterback in. Change what this year alone. Put a new quarterback in. Give Lincoln Riley an offensive coordinator. It's not that simple. It's a bunch of things at USC that need to be fixed. Hire a GM. Boom, everything's fixed. That's going to be a big part of it, but that's not going to fix everything. So it's just human nature. People want to make one big move and then everything's fixed. And unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. I'm sure I made a lot of friends just now.
Right. Usually they want to fix something that's really broken, though. His offensive play calling has been great. There is nobody better that's available, right? And you hire him, you make him a head coach because that's what his salary demands are to call your plays.
I'm going to use that because you just gave me.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for the call. Yeah. Yeah, Dave. Great call. I'm going to use that. I really am, because when people talk about, how Lincoln Riley is not calling the right plays, there's a couple of things that I want people to remember. Number one, they call it a RPO for a reason. Those quarterbacks could have handed that ball off. But it's a simple math thing. What does the box look like? What do we have going on? What's the matchup on the outside? And then they take a look and they make that read. That could have been a run. We will never know. And there's a thing called execution. Do we know that the players executed the play? I mean, how bad was the play call when your right tackle gets blown up and the quarterback gets hit in 1.8 seconds? We don't know if that was a bad play call, but we do know it wasn't executed properly. Are we going to scream at our head coach because he didn't make the right call? I'm not advocating for screaming at any of the players, but I mean, let's use our football minds a little bit. I think sometimes people want to make it too damn simple. And if it was that simple, we all could be GMs. We could all be head coaches. We could all be, I don't know, even the water boy, some of you guys. So thank you guys all for calling. I think we're going to call it a night because I can't remember people's names. And usually that's a sign it's really late, but I'm really excited. Thank you so much. We had like over 1,000 people. There were so many people here today. Again, 2 great showings. If you haven't already, if you could just do me a small favor, only if you enjoyed the show, we'll be doing tons of these. And believe me, this is not the last time USC's going to have something crazy happen. We're here every Wednesday, Preston and I, at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. But if news pops up, Preston, I'll be here. If Preston can't make it, I'll be here. If I could bring Paulie or someone else in, we'll be here. And we want to hear from you because this is the only show that I know of where they take phone calls and it's 100% about you guys. We want to know what you want to think. We want the Trojan family to come in here, sound off. Heck, I want to hear from, we heard from a Notre Dame fan. We heard from 2 Notre Dame fans. I've heard from Oklahoma fans. We've heard from fans all over the place. You guys are absolutely the best. You guys make this so much fun to do this. I look forward to these calls more than you could imagine. And my family thanks you, because if I wasn't talking to you about USC football, I'm taking that from my buddy, Golden Blue Dude, rest in peace. He said, and I agree with him. He knew me when we talked about it. If I wasn't talking to you guys, I'd be driving my family crazy. So I appreciate you guys giving me the outlet, talking about the team that I love, USC Trojans. Remember, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Pregnon is a big loss, just a massive loss. But have faith. There have been a couple times during this season where things look really dark and USC has made the right moves. No one expected USC to pull off Lincoln Riley a couple of years ago. No one expected, knew for a fact that Caleb Williams was coming. All these little things happen, all that. No one thought, here's everybody. Who thought that Ramsey was coming back? So you never know. The good comes with the bad. Love all you guys for being here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And we will see everybody on Wednesday. But hopefully if we see you guys sooner, or if I see you sooner, I'm hoping that it's because USC has picked up a solid running back. I'm looking at we talked about the rush end position. It means we've picked up something special. I don't want any more bad news. We don't want to lose any more great Trojans. Gabe, thank you so much. Gabe, you guys give Gabe a big thanks over at Trojan Blade. A couple people referenced his video already today. Make sure if you guys want to be really up to date on and get a detailed analysis of what's going on at USC football, make sure you're checking out his stuff over at Trojan Blade. Thank you to everybody. I named them as well. That supporting the show with their Twitter support. But I'm gonna do it again. Thank you, Todd Olson, for retweeting us. The Voice of College Football, of course. Matt Stark, Gil Marin, Rusty over at Arrogant Nation, and Gabe, who's also playing double duty and being producer for the show. So fight on, everybody. We'll talk to everybody at the earliest, maybe tomorrow, but definitely by next Wednesday. Take care.